IRO season, World Endurance Championship, y'all. Super pumped on this. Vitality we have out in front currently with 1:24 here on lap 5. Again, I do apologize. At least the stream was up so you guys could see it, although I was muted. That was deliberate because I was in a phone call trying to get this all sorted. It is completely different than the way I've done it, and yeah, 3 links in a row didn't work, so we had to quickly rush to try to get that figured out. Anyhow, so we have I'm gonna call him Consta because that's about the only thing I can read on that. In P2, Melvin we have here running in P3. Just 3 seconds in behind, so a change of position here potentially happening rather quickly. We have AMS Drift King here in P4. We will get to some good racing action for you here rather shortly. Bezzy here in P5. I do apologize if we have some of the liveries not showing up. That's a potential one. That to me looks like a stock livery. I think it is. I do apologize, but Twitchy here in P6, 23 seconds in behind P5. Does have P1R Jake in 4.9 seconds in behind him. Tony here, there's a good livery in the Dodge Viper in P8, 19 seconds in behind and gaining, coming down the mountain now. We'll see how quickly he can gain to going down the backstretch. We have Kruentis here. This is one of the liveries that is just not showing up. It is just white, and I don't get that, so I do apologize. Let me get over to the stream now so that I can see the chat. Wait a minute. That is the wrong chat. Alright. Let's continue on down the line to my team DEFCON here in the Mercedes. There we go. Okay. Yes, we should absolutely be live. Does not look like it. You're live, guys. I'm watching it live. You're watching it live. Let me check any message. Nope, I got a message from Jaeger saying we're going. We're good. We got it. Everything appears to be excellent as far as analytics and whatnot goes. So, DEFCON here in P10 currently. Shadow Chef in the Audi R8 in P11. Just 6.2 seconds behind DEFCON. We have Jakey 8.7 seconds behind. That gorgeous looking Porsche there. In P12, a minute behind that, nearly, is Jelly Racer in P13, 14 Inferno there. And then we have Mitchie here in P14 in the Dodge Viper. Great looking liveries from the teams, and again, I do apologize. I so wish that they were all working. Vitality out in P1 by a minute 24 seconds plus. He's running on a purple lap, or not a purple lap rather, but a best lap for himself. And his P1R Jake currently with the fastest lap of the race thus far with a 2 minute 1 second 0.797 lap. So good lap. We will see that drop currently. A lot of fuel in the cars. Yeah, obviously different strategies going on. I know there's got to be a battle. There's got to be a battle going on here somewhere. There's Twitchy running purple currently in that GTR. Our Jake just 4.2 seconds in behind and not gaining just yet. Now, indeed, I don't know what the timing's doing. Looks like it's gaining, and then he's not, and then he is, and then, yeah. Our Jake in P7. A few seconds away from catching anybody. This is a potential overtake from the Mazda. It's still 2 seconds away. I don't believe the Mazda's quite got the gusto it needs to catch the Viper down the back stretch there. Just not really going to work. No, losing a little bit of time there. And on to the start of a new lap. I do apologize, everyone, too, if my comms are not quite on point today. I've woken up with a gnarly migraine that is now just a super nasty tension headache, but definitely not allowing the brain to function quite properly, so I do apologize to everybody. Yeager especially, I know it's a stressful thing to run this whole thing. I do apologize, the first couple of links did not work for you. I thought I was doing it correctly, but apparently not. I don't understand why. I still don't understand why the first one didn't work. But regardless, gorgeous looking livery there with Shadow Chef in that Audi R8. This potential upcoming battle here is not for position. However, it's something like a race going on, y'all. A little something like a race going on. Up the mountain they go. Now to the downhill area, coming up anyhow. Still a little uphill to go. And there we go, shooting down the mountainside. Using all the track. Nice and smooth there. Jakey, 7 seconds in behind Shadow Chef. And gaining there momentarily. Anybody has any requests, do let me know who you would like to see. Mitchie in the Viper here. Boy, that car is a little bit loosey-goosey. Always. That's a twitchy little car there. It's actually quite a large car. In length, anyhow. So this is about the closest thing we have to a real important battle upcoming is Melvin catching up to Consa here. .5 seconds. These gaps are staying relatively the same on every battle, potential upcoming battle that I have found thus far. Great view coming down the mountain there from AMS Drifting. Gotta love that. That was a nice looking view there. Well done, cameraman. Well done. So Bezzy here in the BMW M6, rather a handful of a car is that. Turbo kicks in at the low RPMs, and boy howdy, that car just gets wild on it. I'm sure many of you know that already. So Twitchy here going up the mountain, getting the top, and we'll get started on down the mountain. Again, using every bit of the racetrack. Nice and smooth in through the dip. Ooh, little twitch there, little twitch. Twitchy's showing us a little wiggle. So let me see you wiggle it just a little bit. Oh, he did, he showed us. So, P1R Jakey Project 1 racing team in the super bright, beautiful green Porsche there. Absolutely love that livery. Green is my favorite color, and you cannot miss that car out of a crowd of cars for sure. The green and the red actually goes together quite well, I do believe. If I do say so myself. So 2.9 seconds in behind Twitchy. Pantani here. Gorgeous looking Viper there. And still, Portra's 2.3 seconds in behind. Nearly absolutely identical as last lap. So these drivers really not trying to give up any time, and certainly having a go at trying to gain some time on the driver in front of them. That Viper just incredibly difficult to try to chase down on these longer straight stretches. You can see that time is just growing when he hits the stretches. Now the Mazda's really got to put in work. Oh my goodness. Going up the mountain and then coming back down the mountain to try to gain any time at all on the Viper. So 2.5 seconds rather, the difference. Now 2.8, a little bit of a bobble there. So lost a half a second there. So DEFCON in the Mercedes. Absolutely gorgeous looking livery on that as well. Oop. Oh geez, I'm just muting all the notifications on all my different devices because we don't need that coming up into the stream. Stream's got its own sound, right? Okay. All right, so a 16-second deficit to Portas out in front, nearly 10 seconds to Shadow Chef in behind. Jakey sitting at 8.7 seconds now to Shadow Chef. He's got nearly a minute advantage over somebody in behind him in the form of Jelly Racer. So no real immediate threat, obviously, from P13, but I mean, how do you catch somebody like that, right? It's lap after lap after lap of consistency, and you got to be just a smidge quicker than the driver in front of you. And Jakey, of course, I've been racing with this man for some years now. Definitely no slouch behind the wheel, as you all are quite aware of. And then, of course, we obviously, this lobby is absolutely stacked. This season of IRO 2026 is just stacked with incredibly talented racers from all over the globe, and it's an absolute blessing to be able to call comms for y'all. Hopefully, I can do it at least decently. Blah, blah, blah. If and I can speak it in English today. Yeah, probably going to have issues with that since the brain doesn't want to keep up with my mouth. So, there's that. So, Melvin, actually losing 3, 4, 5 tenths, 6 tenths now. What's going on with him? He's having an issue coming down the mountain. 7 tenths, just lost 7 tenths coming down the mountain there with Team MWR there. And that driver in behind, now that is not for position, but it certainly would help him to be able to catch up to that car, even push him along potentially, if he can catch him, just to really gain that much more time each lap. Tenths here and tenths there is how you drop seconds off. Seconds dropping off is going to get positions gained. So, we all know this. We all know this. Okay. Drift King here. 17 seconds in behind Melvin. And 39 seconds ahead of P5. So no immediate threat there either way you look at it. He's not going to catch quickly P3, and he's not quickly going to be caught by P5. Bezzy here as well. Pretty much the same exact situation. No threat from behind, and some ways off, 39 seconds, 39 and a half seconds from catching P4. So P6, Twitchy. Ooh, here we go. Let's stay right here because we have P1R Jake, 1.3 seconds in behind Twitchy. Now, here is about the closest thing we have to a battle thus far, and neither one of those liveries... Oh, wait, yes, the one of them is working. Okay. That's lame. I tried, y'all. I exited the lobby, rejoined, cleared my cache, did all the things, and it just still wanted to leave a couple out. That's GT7 for you, though. Oh, my head is absolutely just hurting me, y'all. Just hurting me. Great job by that driver just to get out of the way of these guys that are actually battling for position. Of course, the highest levels of respect and racing etiquette shown here in the IRO. Absolutely a pleasure to race with these guys when you can, if you're fast enough, if your team's fast enough. This year, my team definitely was not. In fact, we barely pulled out a top 10 last year, but it was an incredible amount of fun. And was certainly thrilled to be a part of season 2025 for IRO. Our first major team league that we did, and man, I gotta say, I wouldn't have changed the struggle to get a top 10 finish for the season standings for anything, man. It was such an incredible joy to be racing with these guys on track. Definitely a talented field last year, and more so this year. And unfortunately, I was out on the road for half the season, so I think I only got to participate in 1 or 2 races, I believe. I think it was... I think I might have got 2 in, but potentially only 1. Either way, Twitchy definitely under threat now, as P1R Jake is definitely well within that slipstream and gaining. So here we will get to see our first potential move being made for position. That'll be Jake trying to grab away P6 from Twitchy. So we'll just stay right here. How's about an onboard with Jake as he begins to come down the mountain? This will be a great view. Again, the Porsche, quite a nimble little car. Didn't gain quite as much ground as what I thought he would have. Coming down the mountain, Twitchy doing a great job in that Nissan GTR. Absolutely laying down that sector and not allowing for Jake to get any closer to him. Catching up, certainly under braking there. Into the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. Late break again from Jake. Closer yet even. GTR seems to have gotten just ever so slightest better exit out of that corner. And oh, both drivers onto the grass. Great job from both of them maintaining the correct direction on the track. Up onto the curb, both cars take that quite nicely, not a problem there. Hard onto the anchors, back onto the loud pedal, and ooh, that was really close to the wall there. Both drivers, boy howdy, Twitchy there, about skimming the wall. Both drivers again using every inch of the track. There's a wee bit of a scrape there, but it doesn't matter. It didn't slow Twitchy down, none whatsoever. Both of these drivers absolutely using every centimeter of this track, millimeter, whatever you like your measurements to be. Woo, a little Twitchy there from P1R Jake. Hard onto the anchors again, and back onto the loud pedal, full throttle, here we go, coming down the mountain. One of the absolute fastest sectors in racing, I do believe, potentially the fastest in the world currently for GT3. Copy that, guys, gals. We are looking here and there, back and forth at the chat, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, indeed, lovely liberty all throughout the field. Oh, there we go. let's get our, again, apologies y'all, my brain just is not quite working. Well, you know, I kind of figured that something would have happened with this here battle a wee bit sooner than what it has. Regardless, I think, momentarily here, there we are, that's a much better. So we will go ahead and switch us back and check out the rest of the field, see if potentially, let's go back up to P2. No, 3.8 second gap. So this gap literally has stayed the same pretty much this entire time. Why is that on? I don't understand that. Weird. I hit a button unintentionally. So its vitality has lost 2 seconds since the beginning of this stint to Consta here. In Tino's Consta? I don't know. I'll just say Consta because I can read that much of it, right? Okay, so Melvin in P3. Both apparently VQS drivers. I so happen to know one of those personally. Not met in real life, but yeah. Good buddies. He's done me some training on track and whatnot. Helped me get a lot faster than I was at. Man, they get so close to the walls, and the way they use the entirety of the track. I mean, I try to use the entirety of the track myself, but they're doing it at max speed, right on the very edge. And as you all well know, when you are right on the very, very edge, sometimes you find where it drops off. And that is when you get your wild happenings on tracks, such as crashes. So Bezzy here in P5 again, 38 seconds out in front of him, 20 seconds in behind. Drift King, 38 seconds behind Drift King, and 20 seconds. Oh, and we missed it. Replay. Let's go back. We waited that whole time. Why is it not working? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. My replays aren't working? Really? That's nonsense. That is nonsense. I don't understand. I truly don't understand. Why is everything going awry? Bummer. I do apologize, y'all. Apparently my keyboard, possible to see top 3. Oh, I got you, man. I knew I was going to run through them. I did not see that until just now, admittedly. But I did see it, and you did get to see your top 3. So I must be doing all right. So, Twitchy has lost that position to P1R Jake, man. And I am so sorry, y'all. That's the first time I've ever had an issue with my replays not working, and I couldn't tell you why, so I can't fix it. However, let us move on through the field. Pantani here. I'm guessing that's how that's said. I don't know. Punt Tony, maybe? I don't know. Don't punt the guy. All right, anyways, 29.5 seconds out in front is Twitchy. 3.2 seconds is Portis. He's still right there in the very same spot he was last time, basically. So DEFCON 12 seconds in behind P9, 22.5 seconds ahead of Jakey. Jakey, who does look though as he is gaining some ground here at lap 17. End of lap 17, rather. Shadow Chef. Oh, he had himself a bit of an incident, and I keep trying to hit the dang old mark button, man. It won't work, man. I don't know why. Oh. Oh, fully using the grass there. They won't need to mow that part for the week. It'll be done well taken care of. Gorgeous looking livery though is that. The ORTE Sports. Whoever does your livery, I quite like it. Gold. Maybe it's yellow. No, that's gold. Purple with some gold highlights to it. Rather brilliant. Getting the blue flag waved, but plenty of space still in between. So Jelly Racer here got a minute to go to try to catch up to Shadow Chef. 53 seconds to be exact. 20 seconds in behind is Michi. Let us get back to your race leader, and that is who is coming up on, who was that? Let's see. I think it was P9. Nope, it was 10. Oops, wrong way. It wasn't 10 either. Okay, it's Shadow Chef. My apologies, flicking through things all super quick like. Okay, so now race leader does get ahead there. Nicely done. Works out well. Now he can just continue on his race. Actually has gained a second on Consta there since we last looked. Consta breaking away a bit from Melvin. That was at 3 seconds. That was a 3-second gap. And it is now 5.7 seconds, just under, just switched to 5.6. Goodness. Whoa! I can't tell if that was just a bit of lag or if I didn't see any sparks coming off that wall, but it sure looked like he hit the front end and the rear end of that car on the wall there. However, again, no damage, did not see any sparks, so that was just a bit of latency in the coding. Another thing that just kind of happens in Gran Turismo 7 racing. It's just, it is what it is. We've all dealt with it for so long now. It's not a huge deal at all. Would be nice to not have that, but we absolutely love the game, love the leagues and the atmosphere of racing. With just a bunch of good drivers, man. I mean, in this case, exceptionally good drivers. So Drift King here, opting for a bit of a slightly different strategy, but I'll tell you what, making it work indeed. 21-second gap to Melvin, and that time is coming down. So Bezzy, 37.2 seconds in behind in the M6. I'll tell you, I did 2 seasons in a row racing that M6 for 2 different leagues. And when I first started it, I absolutely despised that car. I mean, until you get used to it, it handles like an absolute boat, man. Just not the most nimble of cars whatsoever. It is solid. And by the time I was done with those 2 seasons, I just absolutely loved that car. And I continued to race in it for a very long time because I had just finally, it took forever to get the RPMs and that turbo figured out, man, because that turbo, coming out of that corner right there, if you're not just on it just perfectly, you give it just a little bit too much, and obviously, you know, just raw horsepower do that to you too, but the turbo seems to come out of absolutely nowhere. It just, that, you know, you can be holding your RPM steady and all of a sudden it just, the turbo kicks in and it will just send you sideways. But absolutely fantastic car is the M6, and Bezzy doing a great job handling that beast of a machine there, coming down the mountain rapidly. Just the ever so slightest bit of slidewaysness. So Bezzy clipping along in P5. We have P1 RJ now gaining momentum, cruising down the mountain. Dang, that Porsche really is a very nimble car, very stable car. I absolutely love it. Have been driving it the most out of everything lately, as many people have. I know that like the day it came out, and for like a week straight, you'd go into a lobby and there'd be 15 out of 16 people would be in that Porsche. Not sure how much it's changed because I haven't been racing a lot lately. Unfortunately, just have not had the time to do it, hence why I haven't been streaming lately. All that kind of stuff. Shortly, we will start to see pit stops. I can tell you that much. Don't know how long that shortly will be, but so Twitchy doing a rather good job of maintaining a relative distance and relative pace to Jake out in front. And ooh, what a save right there. All sorts of Twitchy on corner number 1 as they head up the mountain. He must not have let off the throttle at all because he's actually gaining on Jake. Connie here in P8, 31 seconds in behind Twitchy. 2.2 seconds is the distance between himself and Kruentis. Now 2 seconds. We may potentially have another battle here. And let us go ahead and give you a view of Kruentis going up the mountainside here. Not too much braking, just enough. Back onto the old loud pedal, the go fast pedal. Steady throttle, lift, brake. Back onto the loud pedal. Favorite part of the track right here for myself. Just flat out through this. Little bit of scrape on the wall there. Into the dipper. Nicely down there. And this has been quite the battle here, I'll tell you. Mazda and the Viper, with the combination of these two drivers in the car, seem to be quite equally matched. I mean, this gap has been the same for lap after lap after lap. In fact, Kruentis is closer now than he has been this entire 22 laps, to my knowledge. All right, well, I had thought that potentially that would turn into something rather different, quicker, as in a pass. However, we have DEFCON here with my team. and the Mercedes, and that just so happens to be one of the cars that we used for IRO last year. And gotta say, I quite like that car. I can tell you, for me personally, that's probably the best sounding car in the game. Absolutely love the sound of it. Two bad cars, unfortunately. I don't know, man. I don't know. It really comes down to people's personal preference as to how they like their cars to handle. You know, you might get a little sideways. Get a little sideways. You might. Gotta watch them come down the mountain here. I mean, seriously, listen to the sound of that car. Just absolutely beautiful. That is a beautiful, beautiful machine right there. Incredible. Jakey flying down the mountain as well in that gorgeous Porsche there. Fantastic livery on that car as well. The black and gold, love that. A little silver up in there as well. No wrong with that. Consta now diving into the pits. The first to pit in this session. Let's get a good close-up at the, the pit group for the time being. Let's get a nice shot of the livery here. Boy, it sure didn't give us a very lengthy side view, did it? And is refusing to do so. Wanted to see the Alien Motorsport right there. See how long the delta is. So Drift King will take over P3 for the time being. Going with very nearly a full tank of fuel. Side by side they come out together. It's R8's going to have the run. Just dips back in, does Consta. Use a little bit of that draft, so now it's Drift King with a 19-point-second lead and a new podium racer. So positions exchanging hands as they often do during pit strategies, pit sequences, all of that stuff. Let's go, Team AMS, says Storyman. What's going on with number one? Number one driver is just out wrecking it. That's what's going on. Vitality has just been smoking. He started out this race with a minute and 22 second lead, has now grown 11 seconds on that. So just absolutely cruising. Nearly halfway into the stint here and doing good. Melvin now runs in P2 with a 21.9 second, may as well be 22 second gap over AMS Drift King. So it's Porsche, Ferrari, Porsche. And then we have the Merc here in P4. And we missed that too. The Merc got around, oh, I forget who that was. The Audi. Anyways, we're just looking out, Audi, indeed. So Bezzy still running in P5, got that pretty well locked down for the time being. 18 seconds out in front of him, 17.7 in behind him in the form of Cuban Jake. So Jake in that mean green machine there, the Porsche, green and red. Ray looks incredible on that car. Really quite a nice livery indeed, if I do say so myself. Now it'll be Twitchy diving in to the pits. Get you a look at the stock livery, since this one wouldn't come up, unfortunately. Sorry, Twitchy. Again, I cleared my cache before coming in, backed out, left the lobby, come back in. I guess we all know it was the same thing for Sig Xander. Sometimes they just don't work no matter what you do. So Pantani here running in P7, and again, Porta's still. Oh man, alive! Running purples is Pantani here. Ooh-wee. Kruentis is still just right there. Another one of the liveries that unfortunately did not come up. Which he comes out in P9 with Defcon in just behind there. Ooh, man alive. Just a riding them walls. Absolutely sending it. Man, I should have went and got me an energy drink, perhaps. Drift King drive that car. Indeed, certainly is. So, Twitchy gaming time here on DEFCON. Not a lot, but certainly was gaining there. Now, who was that? Okay. Oh, quite the strategy there, actually. Depending on how much fuel they take, Porsches could potentially take the position here just in the pit sequence alone. We have Melvin jumping into the pits as well. Box. Getting some new rubber underneath that Ferrari and some petrol. High octane racing fuel. Secretly added a little NOS in it. Oh, no, just kidding. The driver's drinking the NOS. Oh. Okay, so now Melvin's going to come out in P4. We'll call it 2 and an 8, 2 maybe 0.9, maybe 3 seconds. Yeah, we'll call her 3 seconds in behind Consta here, and the other Merc, the Alien Sports Merc. And now it is Vitality with nearly a 2-minute lead over the rest of the group. 28 laps into stint 4. We'll keep it right here for the time beings. Let's give you that good old in-car view again for this coming down the mountain. Absolutely love it. Hard left, hard on the brakes, heavy on the loud pedal, and down the mountain they go on the big old bad straight stretch. Grabbing that slipstream, and here he goes. Round and about. Is Melvin here in just behind though, not far. If he can catch up and get into the slipstream here, it is going to be a battle for P3. These two drivers on the same team in real life, however, they are on competing teams for the come on, brain, work. In the instance of IRO, so they're in competition directly with one another, which is always super fun to see. Oh yeah, Mercedes is definitely a good car, man. I love that car. Like I said, to me personally, I think the Mercedes is probably the best sounding car in the game. And very good handling cars, just all around good base of a car. Like there's nothing that it does exceptionally well, but there's nothing that it's bad at either. Oh, bit of a hug there with Barry R. No worries, no worries. Separation was imminent. Not trying to fight with him, just a little hug, just a little love tap. And Melvin certainly is gathering up the car in front, and that car is just about in the slipstream. Boy howdy, I think if I caught that guy out in front of me, I might even just push him along just to catch up to Consta there even quicker by using the draft of the car in front. Two cars are obviously faster than one. I think that would be my strategy, and potentially, oh, nice, good, clean lines there from Melvin. Absolutely cruising. This last corner just right, and back onto the loud pedal. Very nicely done. Now potentially get right up into the slipstream on this corner right here. Down into first, bangs it back up in a second. Hard on the loud pedal, and I don't think he's quite in the slipstream of that car there. Potentially. Not quite. So they'll go around again and get after it again. Bezzy here in P5, still rocking it in the M6. Again, under no threat from behind in the form of Jake for E1R, Project 1 Racing. Again, in that gorgeous green, red, and gray. The GRG car, green, red, and gray. Richie, 49 seconds in behind, but that'll change soon. We still have half the field has not pit yet. Richie in P7, DEFCON here for my team. The other Merc on track. And I gotta say, I'm quite a fan of that livery as well. Very, very nice. Jakey, 17 seconds now behind DEFCON up into P9, and that was not too long ago a 22-second deficit. So 5 seconds and not a whole lot of time has Jakey taken off P8, sorry. My brain, oh, I'm sorry. My brain hurts. My head hurts bad. Oh, goodness. Man alive. So, Kruentis here running in P10, and as was stated earlier, yes, he in fact indeed take over that spot from Pantani. Now Pantani running 5 seconds in behind, but gaining some ground there, coming up the mountain. Not a place that I expected to see that Dodge Viper gain ground on the Mazda. I would have thought that the Mazda would have been a bit more of a nimble car. However, that Viper, if you know how to drive the car, it's really one of those cars as well that is all around decent, but definitely very fast in a straight line, like lots of horsepower underneath the hood of that car. Nice looking livery as well on that. So Jelly Racer, let's get a good look at Jelly Racer here. We haven't got to appreciate his livery here for Team Inferno in P12. Also a very, ooh, wow, that was close. Very nice looking livery on that M6. Absolutely love it. Love that car. I haven't driven it in a while, and the last time I did try to drive it, it was just like driving it all over again for the first time. It was just, I was all over the place. Just slideways out of every single corner, just getting on the throttle too hard. Yeah. Or just having that turbo kick in at low RPMs. So now it is Defcon jumping into the pits. He's going to lose probably no positions here, but that is going to put Jelly Racer in a lot closer. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be at least maybe 25 seconds away from Defcon. No, Defcon's already out. So, yeah, it'll probably maybe 20 seconds. Maybe 20 seconds. Oh, no, it's got to be 25 at least. But he's going to, again, have to pit himself. Down to 36, 32... 31. Looks like it's going to stay about there, so we're 6 seconds off. Not too bad for that much of a guesstimate on that. So it is Shadow Shaft, 14 seconds in behind for Team ORT in the beautiful looking Audi. Now that car there, incredibly gorgeous car as well. Really quite good. All-around car as well. Certainly not the fastest thing on track. Probably one of the better handling cars on track, right up there with the Porsche and the Ferrari for sure. On a track like this, you would expect, or I would expect and think that the mid-engine or now newly rear-engine rear-wheel drive cars to do better on that. But I think somebody let me know BPF. I have no idea what that means, but BPF. I don't know, bud. I don't know, man. Nah. My brain's not awakened. Maybe that should be clear, but it is certainly not clear to me at this point in time. Okay. Mitsubishi in the yellow and black. Not sure if that is supposed to be gold and black or not. Gold, white, black car. Also a very brilliant looking livery on that car indeed. Oh my goodness. I do apologize, yo. All right, let's move back through the field here. Give P1 a good eyeball because we don't often stay on P1 when they're so far out in the lead. 2 minutes and 22 seconds now, so literally gained nearly 30 seconds now. Running purples as well. Oh, my head just hurts. Anyways, just wanted to make sure P1 got a good looking at so everybody could appreciate that fine looking livery. Let us move on to P2. Mazda now has the Mazda out in front of him. Mazda really gaining some ground, under braking there, coming down the mountain. He's a wiggle in it, just a little bit, but he's definitely a wiggle in it. Needs to stay right here. The race leader is in the pits. P2 has already pit. Gonna gain a lap back here. Great show of racing etiquette and sportsmanship on track there from the Mazda driver, just getting out of the way of Consta there. Consta definitely going to get a lap back. Now should be back on the lead lap of the race. I do believe. That Mazda just tucking right in though. This is going to be really good for that Mazda. If he can stay right there, he's going to gain a lot more time around this track than what he would if he was on his own. The Mercedes can just give him a little tow. He could save a bit of fuel. Potentially, there is the adverse effect of being in someone's tow is that you actually end up using more of your tires because of the dirty air that you're in. It's a bit more of a struggle to keep the car online. But you are going to save yourself a bit of fuel if he can stay tucked into that slipstream, and it seems as though he may have lost it there. Indeed, has lost it, not in the slipstream anymore. Melvin in P3, just in behind there. Hence why Consta is not at all wanting to stick around. Let's go back to P1 real quick to see where he's come out. still 2:23. Shoot, he's been out for a while already. My bad, y'all. Okay, yeah, the time is dropping, as you can see. It's going to be back at just, well, 141. I was thinking about more right along the lines of the 130 mark, but I guess depending on how much fuel you take, it's only about a 40-second pit delta. So let us go back to P3, see how Melvin is doing along here on his chasing efforts to catch up Consta. Looks as though he is gaining ground going up the mountain here in that Ferrari. I'd imagine that car does very, very well going up and down the mountain. Either way, flat out sending it down the mountainside. Watch out for the roos. They like to come out at this corner. Oh, he's free and clear. Free and clear. No kangaroos were harmed in the making of this here league. I promise. Oh. All right, P4 is AMS Drift King, 17.5 seconds in behind Melvin, also screaming on down the mountain. Coming onto the long stretch, it is Jakey now diving off into the pits to box. AMS pulling blue sectors. Is he set? On pace to a little bit wide there. That's going to mess up the exit just a little bit there. May not get his fastest lap. We'll stick with him long enough to find out whether or not Drift King is now put down his fastest lap of the race thus far. And it's going to be a yes. Not by a lot. 77 thousandths of a second. Moving along to P5, Bezzy in the BMW. Do apologize, y'all. Another one of the liveries that did not want to show up. Just the stock livery for that driver. Not a lot we could do about it. We dang old tried. We dang old tried, though. As he centered it up the straight here. Let's get a look at what his top speed is. Purple first sector. And I missed it. I looked away from the top speed before he came into that corner. Around 140 miles an hour mark, somewhere around there. Let us get a look at P1R Jake. Just coming in there. Beautiful line there, up onto the curb on the outside, handles it extremely well, full throttle in here, hard onto the acres, back onto the loud pedal, brushing the wall nearly, and again right up against that wall. Flat sending it up the mountain is Jake. Twitchy 14.7 seconds, 14.779 seconds in behind Jake. Jake now making his way down the mountain. And on to the back stretch. So let's just out of curiosity, let's see what kind of speed. My guess is right at 170 miles an hour. at the end of this thing. Really wind out fifth gear, 162, 65, 67, 68, 69, 171 he touched just barely there. So Porsche certainly no slouch coming down the mountain there. Which you hear with a 15-second gap out in front in the form of Jakey. With 36 seconds in behind Kruentis in P8. And another one of the liveries that unfortunately did not show up. 3 again for me as well, Xander. So that seems to be the number of liveries that just don't want to work. Here's Kruentis just getting out of the way of Melvin there in the Ferrari. Beautifully done. And ooh. Oh, Kruentis with a bit of damage on that race car. So you know he's not going to pit. He is just going to continue on. But Pantani now gaining ground, and he is not going to be able to keep that Viper in behind him. I'd imagine on this stretch right here, he'll be overtaken. Potentially not, though. I mean, the Viper not having any damage. Let us go to the Viper quickly. Nearly had it in time to get it done before the first turn, hit it up the mountain here. Keeps it in second, gets lots of rotation out of the Viper. Got a tighter, nicer line there. He may get this pass done on this little bit of a stretch before they head down the mountain. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be that impatient on it. Just going to wait to hit the long straight stretch, and indeed he does. Wait it out. In through the dip. Both cars doing very nicely through there. Handled that quite well. Bang, bang, banging on them gears. And oh, a little tap of the wall, a little bit sideways. Now may not be able to get the pass done here as well with the compromised exit. Indeed, it looks like the Mazda's just gonna be able to 173, 174, 175 miles an hour hard onto the anchors. Gets a nice rotation out of the Viper there, though. And now he's, that's a late pit entrance. He is going to get a 3-second penalty from that. And DEFCON is right there as well. So that was a 3-way battle. Let's keep it right here on DEFCON. AMG versus Viper. If I had to say there was one area of struggle for that AMG and Viper, both cars would be the curbs. They don't seem to like them a whole awful lot. Both drivers using up every inch of the track possible. And, oh man, got some good racing going on here, man. DEFCON all over the back of Pantani. Is he going to look for the outside? He does take a look, but no, tucks it back in, and it's down the mountain they'll go. In through the dip, both cars handling that very well. The Viper gaining ever so slight edge. Now does the AMG have the muscle to get around that Viper? I really don't think so. Viper definitely better on top end speed. If he comes out of that slipstream, Viper's just going to keep going, and he's going to lose all the bit of speed he had going for him. 173, 175 miles an hour. Whoa, locks him up. Oh, the Viper goes a little wide there. Opportunity knocks for DEFCON. But nothing doing. As that Jakey here in P10, 13.4 seconds in behind these guys. Beautiful looking livery on that Porsche. Absolutely loving that. All of JP's liveries are just outstanding. Guys does an incredible job at RA's liveries there. Portis's livery unfortunately not showing up for us. Shadow Chef here, 35 seconds in behind Portis and 21 seconds ahead of Jelly Racer in the Audi R8. Jelly in the Inferno BMW there. Brilliant looking livery is that. Running very nearly his fastest time. 17 thousandths of a second off from his fastest time. We'll see if he nails this just right. Looks good and clean. Great looking lines there. It all comes down to this final corner. Nail it and get a fastest lap. Great looking exit right on the very edge, and it is going to be no, not quite done it. Michi in the Viper. The yellow, white, and black Viper. Good looking livery is that as well. Does pull fastest lap for himself. Oh, power, power. 2,000 power. Hey, thanks, Kruentis. I appreciate it. No, sir. I've done comms a little bit last season. Unfortunately, I was out on the road doing over-the-road trucking for most of the season, so I didn't get. I only got to do, I think, 2 last season, and I actually did a stint for round 1 this season. But I appreciate it, Kruentis. So let us go ahead and take a look back at your current race leader, Vitality. Absolutely laying it down. It's got that time back. Another 10 seconds gained on P2 in the form of Consta just in the past few laps. And with about, let's see, 17 laps remaining, I believe it is. 17 laps remaining in this stint. Vitality pulling purples here, and ooh, a little bit of hopping sideways there. Great job to keep that car underneath of him and keep it pointed in the right direction. Really got a lot of hop going into the dip there, and beautiful job hanging on to that race car. I'll tell you, he was right on the edge of absolute disaster. You pick up damage at this point in the race, especially any heavy damage on the race car. It's going to be detrimental to the time that you have gathered in gaining on your closest threat of taking that position away from you in the form of Consta. But as it stands, nearly 2 minutes to the good thus far in the race, 44 laps in, and he was pulling purples, and I can see that driver's just slightly shaken up. That dip really unsettled that car, He caught considerable air there and went for a bit of a ride. Thankfully, he was still in control, not quite a passenger at that point in time, but Consta now cruising up the mountain ahead of him in the other AMG, the Alien Motorsports AMG. Ooh, little wall right there, just a little love for Barry. Little love for Barry, that's all. Just letting him know he was still here and still willing to put up a fight if he had to. So the Alien Sport Mercedes, the other AMG there, Consta ripping it up down the track, coming down the mountain into the final corner, and just stays off that wall. It looked like I didn't see any sparks of flying. Kept the livery intact on that car. Melvin in just behind him, 4.8 seconds. Now is the gap between P2 and P3, so not a whole lot of difference, but check this out, y'all. It is Drift King, AMS Drift King in the other Porsche, now gaining ground ever so steadily on P2 and P3. 9.9 seconds out of getting back into that final podium position, which would put his teammate in a rather nice position going into stint 5. So Drift King certainly putting in work in this stint. I believe that was 20 plus seconds deficit to P3 at the beginning of this stint. I could be wrong. Somebody please do correct me. Let me know. Oh, nice, Kruentis. Nice. Yeah, I'll be still tuned in, man. I did not get up like I normally do. Like I said, I'm fighting a migraine this morning, bad. Thankfully, my medicine that I take for it did knock it back quite a bit, but the brain's still not quite functioning. So I didn't get up and start watching the race from the very beginning. But I will be watching it throughout the rest of the remaining of the race. I'm just a race fan. I just love racing. I love racing. I love commentary. I love the liveries. I love everything about it. It is drifting all over that Viper. He's wanting to get a move done here. He's got that within 8 seconds now. He's gained another second. And boy, I don't know if he goes around him here or uses that draft. Looks as though he's going to take a look to the outside. The Viper's just going to let him go, I believe. He does have the blue flag being waved at him, so good call there. Good sportsmanship shown by the Dodge Viper driver there. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Down to 8.1 seconds now. Is Drift King going to catch up to Melvin before the end of this stint and put his teammate in a very nice final podium position for stint 5? We shall see. I do believe at the pace that he is running currently, he's certainly on pace to do so. Plenty of racing action to go. And he's got another quick driver out in front of him in that Mercedes AMG. He can use that to his advantage as well for a time to gain even more time on Melvin. Melvin has been driving the socks off of that Ferrari throughout this stint, but Drift King is really coming on strong here. He's been working hard, good steady pace throughout, and it's really paying off here towards the end of the stint, this being stint 4. So stint 5 looking good for his teammate thus far. At least going to get them well within striking distance by the end of this stint. If not, take that position. running P5, and I believe this driver has been in P5 for the duration of this stint. Now, another prevailing story for the stint is P1R Jake, now just 11.8 seconds in behind. He was in P7, potentially even 8 to start this stint, and has another driver that is just very consistent laps, absolutely just putting the pedal to the metal as often as he possibly can. Great smooth racing lines there, as you can see, and I shall say rather, and coming down the mountain. Let's see if he catches air into the dipper as Vitality did. It looks as though he did. The car didn't quite get as unsettled as it did for Vitality. I'm guessing that that's probably a thing in this car on this track. I really couldn't tell you. I haven't driven the 992 on the mountain yet. It is Twitchy running in P7 though. His turn now to go in and hit that dipper. Again, a little bit of air. I think they all catch a little bit of air right there, depending on whether or not you take that really nice and tight to the inside, or if you float it out to the outside just a little bit more, say the middle of the track. I believe that the car stays settled a lot better. You don't get that instant dip like that, causing the car to catch air and ride on two wheels essentially, totally unsettling the balance and nature of the car. Defcon absolutely cruising here down the mountain as well. Does still have oh gosh, who was that? For Drift King, that's right, that's who it was. Oops. He's got Drift King in behind him, which that's, for the time being, for Drift King, that's not a bad place to be. I mean, he's definitely gaining ground on Melvin there in P3. So essentially looking to save a bit of fuel. He certainly looks as though, to me, he's got enough. Yeah, it certainly looks as though he's got enough fuel in the car to manage to make it through this stint. We'll leave that at that, not try to give it away too much of anything for anybody, but it potentially gonna just kind of stick in behind Defcon here. Don't know whether or not that's a strategy call, or he's actually really just having to work that hard to catch Defcon out in front of him there. Oh man, the brain. I do apologize, y'all. So making their way down the mountain now. Yeah, you can see every car, when you stick to the inside of it, I tried to take that dip a little bit more towards the middle of the track. It seems to it is slightly slower, but you don't unsettle your car. So it ends up being slightly quicker, or relatively the same as taking the inside. Obviously, the shortest distance from point A to point B is a straight line, right? So you want to cut as much of every corner as you possibly can. But if you're going to unsettle your car that bad, due to, the way you're taking your line, then just dull that line out a little bit and not take it quite so sharply. and you can keep the car from getting unsettled. You see Drift King there definitely showing us that he can wiggle it at least a little bit, right? So Puntani here still ripping it up in P9. However, here comes ERA's Jakey. It will not be long before this move is made here. Not at all. In fact, he will almost undoubtedly be caught up to him and be making the move down the final straight of the backside of the mountain. Definitely 3/10 gained already on this driver. Jakey looking to put the team up into P9 rather than being in Whoa! Speaking of the car getting unsettled, boy howdy, he lost 4/10 of a second there. Whoa! And again. Oh, and he got damage off of that too. I did not see that. And dangle replay. I don't know why my replay buttons are not working. Mega irritating though. What is going on with that? I dare not mess with it now, y'all. I don't want to mess the stream up. I mean, it's that particular chord. I don't believe. Yeah, in fact, I can safely say that it should not have anything. I could unplug that entire thing and not have it affect the stream at all, but I'm not willing to chance it, right? So we're just going to have to deal with not having replays until the next time. So it is what it is. We have no replays. Still. I thought for sure Jakey doesn't have this pass already made. But he's now carrying damage, which is going to make it even more of a challenge to catch that Viper out in front of him. It's going to be incredibly difficult. Yeah. So there's that. Kruentis here in P11, 16.6 seconds behind Jakey. Gaining though on Jakey. There momentarily, now losing. 34.3 seconds behind is Shadow Chef here in the Audi. We have Jelly Racer in P13, 11 seconds in behind Shadow Chef. And gaining. And then Michi, 22.6 seconds in behind Jelly Racer. So Vitality still leading this race, and he has brought that time back up and over 2 minutes to the good. 2 minutes and 5 seconds with 10 laps remaining. Make that 9 laps remaining in this stint with a 2 minutes. So that is a full lap ahead of every other car on the racetrack. Brilliant run from Vitality here. Absolutely just sending it. That Porsche looking really, really strong, and I can tell you it's a very, very stable car. You can really push that car to the limit. Now, it will get a little wily on you. Like you see here, it certainly has every single one of these cars. You push them to their limit, they're going to get a little squirrely. That's just racing in general, right? All the cars have the capability to just get slideways on you. It's up to the driver to manage that power, the poise, the balance of the machine that they're in, and try to keep it right on the edge of doing so without letting it do it. And as you can see here, the level of talent on the field, more than capable of doing so. And when the car does get a little bit wily, well, they're a lot better at it than I am, and they just keep her pointing the right direction. We'll just say that. So, Consta now, 2 minutes 6 seconds in behind, 5 seconds, 0.9 seconds in behind Melvin, and Drift King now 4 seconds in behind Melvin. He sees him out in front of him too. We're just going to sit right here. We're going to sit right here because Melvin is quickly going to be under threat from Drift King. This guy's had an outstanding race. P1R Jake also having a great race. Obviously, Vitality having a great race. Consta really having a very effective race as well. Locking down P2 pretty well. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. I do apologize. But Melvin only 6 seconds in behind him as well. But that's been about the case throughout the race. But it is Drift King right now that is putting Melvin under threat. Got to try to break up those VQS guys. If they get linked in together, and it's going to be hard. He needs to catch Melvin before Melvin catches Consta, because if Melvin can catch Consta, those guys work together, even though they're on different teams in this league. These drivers obviously know each other, and they can make it nearly impossible for Drift King to catch them. Again, obviously, two cars being faster than one, right? So, Kruentis, I do not. My team, esports, nice stint. DEFCON, indeed, yeah, no, DEFCON doing well also. In fact, each of these drivers have certainly had their moments on track. Some good battles, even though it's this far into the stints, into the 12 hours of racing. Little better than 3/4 of the way through after this stint, 2 remaining stints. And again, the brain's just not quite working. FGR taking full stint DC. Driver. Oh yeah, bummer. That's certainly a bummer. So Drift King, that has been maintained. His distance to Melvin is being maintained right now. Melvin seems to have picked up a pace a little bit, realizing, and in fact has gained 0.7 of a second there. That was down to a 4.16. For position too, so it's certainly worth seeing what the outcome will be. In through the dip, Viper caught a little error that time. That may have been a slight pinch of net coating though, right there. Ooh. I'm betting you right there is where he caught his damage. Jakey. I'm betting that corner is where he caught the damage. I honestly don't know though, but I mean, that would be my guess, because you're trying, especially if you're trying to catch a car such as the Viper, you want to get every just ounce of power you can get into that car as soon as you can get it into that car. And I could just easily see, you know, they push it right to the limit. And like I said earlier, you know, if you're pushing it to the limit, pushing it to the limit, pushing it to the limit, well, eventually you're going to find out what that limit is, and you're going to exceed it. In fact, if you're a racer and you're trying to get faster, you have to find your limit. You have to find the limit of yourself and the physical limits of the race car that you are in. You will not get faster if you don't do that. It's just simple facts. You want to race people that are faster than you are, and that will truly help. Another thing that I've been doing lately is going into lobbies and having everybody else be on softs whilst I try to start from the back of the race and try to get as many positions as I can get whilst being on mediums. That seems to really help me pick up my pace as well. It's also a good strategy call for people who like to do daily races, which I've not done hardly, but maybe 3 of them in the past year, simply because I do not want to lose my A again. And it only takes 1 bad race to do so. So I'm like, yeah, no, I got my A back. I would love to see an A+, you know, but I'm not going to push it so much as to lose my A, especially when I haven't been on track enough lately. But this is a great little battle here. I'd imagine this really isn't going to change. Jake is just doing what Jakey is doing what he has to do at the time being, and the best that he can do right now is to bring it into the pits this close to the driver in front of him to allow his teammate to then therefore take that position at the very beginning of the next stint, potentially, right? So let's move us on to Kruentis running P11 in the Mazda. Another, in my opinion, epic sounding race car. That race car, to me, a lot of people don't like the sound of that race car, but I do. I really enjoy the sound of that race car. It is so unique. So unique. I mean, you would think that potentially the most unique sounding race car in the game would be something along the lines of the Lamborghini, right? Which does sound great too. But to me, this is the most unique sounding car in the game. Yeah, the rotary motor. Yeah, in my opinion, you really can't go wrong with a rotary motor. I mean, there's obviously competing motors out there that you know, and there's competing theories and whatnot, and you can make the case that, you know, your standard V6 versus straight 6, my opinion, again, a straight motor has many advantages over the V6, so the straight 6 having advantages over the V6. It just is that way. I've known trucks personally in my real life that have had straight 6s in them, and they would literally outpull V8s. Like the power is just unreal. The type of power. I mean, you just think of it as you see these 4-cylinder turbo cars out there. Take F1 for example. They're running 4-cylinder turbo engines in those cars, and they absolutely scream. You see 4-cylinder turbo engine cars that outrun V8s all day long. They'll outrun V10s and V12s too. Like, make no mistake, there are cars out there that can do it. Take the dung beetle, for instance. I mean, wow. Wow. That thing roasted Lamborghinis and stuff. Are you kidding me? So it certainly can be done. Shadow Chef here in P12. Jelly Racer, 5.9 seconds away. Can Jelly Racer potentially in 5 laps, now it's going to be 4 laps, can he gain 6 seconds and get his teammate that much closer to Shadow Chef? Interesting, as the race is coming to a stint end, rather, what's going to happen here? Constant gaining on Melvin. Drift King about the same as he was. Maybe he's gained another second back on Melvin. 2 minutes and 16 seconds now. 2 minutes and 17 seconds now has Vitality. So nearly another 20 seconds. The man, he is having an incredible race. My, oh my. Brilliant race from Vitality. Brilliant stint, anyways. Melvin and Consta both having very good races. Drift King having himself a very good race. Desi been right here the whole time. He's been in P5 this entire stint. Unknown as to whether or not he's gaining. He certainly is losing time to Jake, though. Jake, 2 laps, the finish of this lap and 2 more laps, obviously has to complete that lap, so not a whole lot of time for him to catch up to Desi, but he is doing it. So he's going to put his teammate in a very good position for stint 5 as well, which that lobby, I can guarantee you, is up. The stream won't go to that. Brohawk, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. You guys, Brohawk says the GR Corolla has a turbo 3-cylinder engine making 300 horsepower, and yes, I concur, that is wild. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's absolutely insane, the kind of horsepower and torque they're coming out with in these 4 cylinders and now 3-cylinder cars. I mean, 6-cylinder turbo engine, no problem. Yeah, I mean, obviously you put a turbo on an engine, it's going to just totally outperform. Let us get back to this momentarily. I just want to see... obviously, we'll switch back as each driver goes into the pits so that I can get a mark out. So that it can be time-stamped, right, as when each driver came into the pits. So we'll definitely do that. But again, like I said, this is the closest thing to a battle we have for position on track. And Jakey doing a great job with damage to keep that Viper in his sights. Like, that is a heck of a feat. If he didn't have the damage, he'd already been by him. But with the damage, that's quite the feat. Quite the feat. You know what's funny, DJ? Potentially, I work with a guy who has one of those. Is that the hatchback that you're talking about, that Corolla? Because if that's the case, I have a co-worker who, and it's a gorgeous car, absolutely gorgeous. It's a GR Corolla. This is the hatchback. Okay. Oh, who is that? Twitchy getting it wrong. Dang it, comes up with damage. And Vitality is already into the pits, y'all, on his final lap. Everybody else has got one lap to do. We knew that, but there he is, into the pits now. 2 hours, 16 minutes, let's say like 39 seconds total. So now we just got to go down the line, guys. We can't mess that up again. I didn't realize he was that close. Hansa again, just having a really good stint for his team.
Meet my ex now.
Alien Motorsports. There's nothing but aliens in this lobby. How are you going to name yourself Alien? Like, which alien? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. The new Mustangs have a 4-cylinder turbo making 315 horsepower or some wild number like that. Right. My brother has the Challenger. I forget what year it is, but it's only a V6 and it's got over 300 horsepower. And he specifically got the V6 rather than the V8 because for less than $1,000 worth of work on that, or no, I take that back. Maybe it's just over $1,500 worth of work on that V6, and he could literally make it outrun the V8s and still get better gas mileage. So there is certainly, okay, here comes Consta. There is it really just all about preference.
K and L.
To me, there's nothing like the sound of V8 muscle. There's also nothing like the sound of the 4-cylinder scream too, like that Mazda we were talking about earlier. Also, just sounds like that car just screams. It's incredible. Okay, so 2:22 from P1 to P2. 2 minutes 22 seconds. 6.505 seconds between P2 and P3. P4 and P3 is 6.807 seconds. Here comes Bezzy into the pits. And Jakey, and right behind him. So the difference from P5 to P4 is 41.942 seconds. The difference from P6 to P5 is 3.773 seconds. And what happened there? He was within 0.5 of a second of him. Huh. Twitchy, I know, got damage right there at the end. He is on his final lap, though. Andy's got damage, so DEFCON, he is on some insanely secondhand tires, though. I'm super confused what's happening in the following lobby. It should certainly have been up some time ago, I can tell you that. And I don't know. The following lobby... it looks like it's on screen. Yeah, we're split, half and half. Jaeger needs to hit the live button. Yeah, because... vitalities should already be done and gone. So Twitchy, The difference between P7 and P6 is 1 minute 12 seconds. P8 and P7, 8 minutes 0.3 or 8 seconds 0.391. P9 to P8 is 14.109 seconds. Wait a minute. How does Jakey keep dropping down? Weird. Oh, wait. What happened? He's in P9 now instead of P10. Whatever. The difference between P10 and P9 is 0.976. Difference from P11 to P10 is 12.334. Here comes Shadow Chef and that gorgeous looking R8. That is a difference from P12 to P11
all
is
right, I'll check that everything's
36.842 seconds.
coming out all right on my laptop as well.
P13 to P12 is 5.050 seconds.
Just
and
stop
finally,
speaking in until I
Mickey,
can hear my
or
own voice.
Mickey,
That's
not sure
probably
which it
why
is. I do
Jaeger
apologize to any of
is
y'all
out
that I
here
got your names
thinking
wrong.
that
English is not my
everything's
strong suit. I only speak it and badly, so.
Is everything broke? Everything's broken. No. No, yeah, okay, I just had that muted. Okay, yeah, cool. Everything's coming out on my end. Gonna wait for that. Let's go. So, who are the two closest drivers on track? Who is everyone going to want to see? It's going to be Deathson and Calster, most likely. I'm just going to wait until... Yes, okay, we are live, okay. Good evening, racing fans, and welcome to Stint 5 of the 12 Hours of Bathurst for IRO. It's been a very good race. I've only caught snippets of it so far, but we've got some good action brewing on at the start of this stint. Who's joining you on comms? Well, you've got the lovely Kruentis, the most neurodivergent teenager on the planet, and he's going to be waffling on for the next just under 2 hours. I reckon you've got me just until like 8 o'clock, so that's like an hour and 45 of dealing with this idiot. Hopefully he tries to keep family friendly. He's been being way too unhinged for the past couple streams. Jaeger's not been very happy with him, so I've been told I might have to start keeping a swear jar. It's not a night stint, so slightly less unhinged. No comments about cake yet. So closest cars on track are currently NWR and Apex Motorsports, Calster and Deathson, two incredibly fast drivers going for that spot on the podium. I'll do a quick rundown on the grid, but we'll keep an eye on that. 2.1 seconds, both of them on the soft compound tyre. Now, as I said, I've only caught a couple snippets of the race so far, because I was at a karting track for today. I was supposed to do stint 3, realised it overlapped. Jaeger had to cover me last minute. The handover might not have been as, smooth as we wanted. We've got the first pit stop of the stint so far, as that's Gregoire with damage. Are we going to catch that? No, we are not. Ovo Esports, they've got a 2-minute lead so far, so they can definitely afford to have the extra pit stop. I think I saw a position change. Yes, we've got Cody and my team and the Sector 7 Blazers, and it looks like Cody hard on the brakes there. What happened to the Blazers car? Was there contact coming up through the chase? Yes, little bit of contact. Looks like my team goes off, and that's the Cody doing the right thing and waiting up. So it looks to be a bit more action on track than I initially thought. Let's do a quick rundown of the grid just so you can see. Mainly me. Shikua should have been in the mud today. Hey up, Jasper. Nice to see you. Yep, I've changed my trousers now, so I'm not covered in mud. So let's go over. We got two All-Stars teams. What do I mean by All-Stars? So that's guys in GTWS. This a very laggy individual. I'm sure he's not as laggy. It might just be a commentator. The Uni Hall's Wi-Fi. Don't want to say anything too far, but it does only seem to be Gregoire that's moving so far. So a couple Vitality drivers, incredibly strong team. Ovo Motorsports didn't quite able to show what they could do, as most people were in the Viper for round 1 at Daytona. Very strong straight line speed car. Ovo keeping the 992, not yet used their 1-3 car swap. But they did decide to upgrade it. They were in the 911 for round 1, now in the 992. So that doesn't count as a car swap. That counts as an upgrade. So that just means that throughout the season, if GT decide to add a newer version of the car the team's in, they can decide to use that. Incredibly, Alien Motorsports in P2. I don't know if anyone didn't catch quali, but Alien Motorsports didn't manage to get a driver in that AMG for qualifying last night. So in the span of 8 hours, this car has managed to climb up all the way from P13, an incredible drive from the team that was P1 on DG Edge for a while, as the AMG is purple, so it will stay with them momentarily. The number 999 as we go through the cutting now. Close to the walls. Look at how strong on the limit these world-class drivers are through the cutting now. As we go through the mountain on the run down towards the S's, strong, almost flat entirely. Through the sharp kink of turn 10, and it's down into the long downhill braking. Still a 10th purple, on for a 2015 here if they can keep it clean. Through the dipper now, manages to keep it away from the track limits as we go towards Devil's Elbow. Sharp on the brakes, down to first, up to second, strong on the throttle, maximise that track limit, down through the Conrad straight, up towards the chase now. What's it going to be on the sector time for ALL Almada? We'll wait and see what can he do. He was a 10th purple. He's down a little bit on Defsun, but that's because Defsun's improved to a 201.529 through the chase now. Keep it nice and clean through the final sector. What can Almada do? I'm not too sure what the fastest lap of the race is so far, but Pole in Q1 was a 2006, I think, from Antonio Santos, and I think they were just about shaving the 201s. Yes, 2014 for Almada, very strong. Right, who is in P3? Well, Defsun and Kauster right on each other's tail. We'll keep our eyes on this battle. So that's NWR 224, Kauster 25, multiple world record holder on Gran Turismo. Defsun also very strong driver, 296 versus 992. Two incredibly strong cars round here at Bathurst. It looks like Defsun's got the better run on Kauster. Let's go on board with Defsun for a lap. Let's see what he can do. So I believe, has anyone else, none of the drivers that we've seen so far using one of the car swaps. We'll come to them later. Right, let's see if Defsun can put that Apex Motorsports Porsche onto the podium positions in the penultimate stint. But Kauster's going to make it very hard for him to get past, and through the cutting, so much more confident on the throttle of that 296. Maybe Defsun just backing out a little bit, not wanting to go in. The dirty air can be incredibly hard in these cars. Looks like it was a bit of a switch for Kauster going through the mountain there. Manages to keep it under control as we go towards the S's now. Yeah, Defsun down by 4/10. Kauster gaining so much time through the what's that bloody, I need to get a track map up, through the dipper. Yeah, I did have a track map up not 30 seconds ago. What am I doing? 2 seconds. I'm sure nobody even cares about the corner names, but I've told my karting society that I'm doing a stream today. We've got a couple in chat. I mean, not on track. I'm already turning into a paralytic, forgetting my words, and we're not even like 5-10 minutes into my stream. Where is that track map gone? Let's go save image as Mount Panorama. Yes, get that bad boy up. Get this bad boy up so I don't miss chat. There we go, we've got all that sorted. So, looking at qualifying positions, it was NWR were in P2 with a very strong lap from VQS Mew Mew. We'll get that up as well. Perfect, yes. So, yeah, in terms of the championship, the two All-Stars teams, OVO and Cal and NWR, because they didn't decide to use the Viper for round one with so many Daytona, so obviously the meta not quite having the start to the championship that they would have wanted. OVO Esports were 5th, which was the best of the rest in terms of the non-Viper class, and NWR came in 9th, but they're showing a much stronger show tonight in 1st and 3rd respectively. ALN as well with a massive run. So ALN were 11th last week. Again, not in the Viper, not quite being able to show what they can do, but the Mercedes much more strong around Bathurst than it is at Daytona. So being able to show a bit more what they're worth, and they're showing it exactly, going from 13th to 2nd tonight. So Apex Motorsports, again, another non-Viper, I believe. Let me pull the notable changes document up that have been given. So yeah, OVO Esports, number 111, have used a car upgrade to the 992. No one else, so far on the grid. So Apex Motorsports, P10 last week, as we're side by side going into Hell Corner. I almost missed that. And Defson gets past Calster. What's happened there? They were like a second away from each other last time I checked. Are we going to catch it? Was it a little bit of a mistake going into Murray's from Calster? Yes, it was. He's got onto the grass, and that's allowed Defson to gain very strongly and get that 992 up into P3. So that's a change for the podium positions. That's allowed Apex Motorsports to get up there, but Calster's not having any of that. He's still right on the tail of that Porsche in the Ferrari 296. We've seen how well this driver can do on daily race leaderboards, time trials. He's 49th in the world, I believe, on DG Edge, and around the same on the DR leaderboard. Incredibly strong, but look at Defson. He's gaining through the S's now on the brakes. Aim for the walls, keep it as tight as possible, flick through into the dipper. Don't go too close to the wall though, otherwise you'll pick up a very harsh penalty. The 296 just looking to struggle there a bit. That's a replay marker. That's not what I wanted to hit. I wanted to hit G, not X. How did I manage to hit that? They're nowhere near each other. Right. Enough on the top 4. Who's in P5? Well, that's the N6 of the Elite Racing Squad, driven by Nixo09. Elite Racing Squad 13th last round at Daytona, so 13th in the championship, looking to be on a bit of a stronger run. First of the car swaps are P1R, used the Viper round 1, managing to secure P4 for the number 20, and it's France K88 in for this stint in the Porsche. I believe that's the 992. Yes, it is. They've gone from the Viper to the 992s. There's that photographer at Devil's Elbow with the best view of all time, taking all the race photos for us. There's 8 seconds between Nixo and France, and if we look at the lap times, they're looking relatively similar. France might be pulling a little bit, it's taking out a little bit at once, but the number 20, third in the championship, on for a P6, very strong results indeed. So my team in the, I believe, that's it. Yes, that's the Mercedes. I'm wondering, like, what car is that? It sounds incredible. It's the one that I've got like 5,000 miles on. It's my open lobby Menace, the 2020 Mercedes. One of the best Group 3 cars on the game, I think. I'm not biased, but it's the one I use, which means it's the best. I mean, it's not very good in the rain, but like, who does rain in open lobbies? Who needs that? Lucas 2504, I forgot to go over the starting positions for everyone else. So yeah, ALN didn't manage to make qualifying, so started 13th. AMS, they managed to qualify 4th up to 3rd after that overtake on Calster. The NWR 296 dropping from P3 to P4, so staying in P3 for the majority of the race. Elite Racing Squad, they started 11th and have climbed their way up to P5. Very strong performance from ERS in that M6, if I do say so myself. That's France K88 goes round for P1R. Very easy to do on that downhill section. So what happened there to France K88 pushing through the S's? He's being waved the blue flag. Or is that blue flag in the car in front, possibly? And then just catching a bit too much grass in the, what's it called? Catching too much grass there, and he's round. So, not quite the start of the synth that France K88 would have wanted. That has allowed Nico to pull away a bit, giving him a bit of comfort for ERS. So my team just about making it into the showdown at qualifying. P7, still P7. Whereabouts are they in the championship? They are, I am blind, as about 8th in the championship, so pretty much the same result as there is France K88 for the number 20 P1R coming into the pits to repair that damage. P8 is the Sector 7 number 7 car, and they started 14th, and why is that? Well, they were being a bit naughty last round and had a qualifying ban handed to them. So ALN didn't make qualifying just because they saw that I was on comms for it and decided, yeah, we're not turning up. Like Kruentis guys are well annoying. Like, what's the point in turning up to quali? These guys got banned from it. Why? I don't know. I just got told that they were being naughty. I asked Jaeger to clarify it, and he just kind of like beat around the bush. But 4 seconds back are the GT Finlands, one of the only guys keeping the Viper. I'm supposed to be going over the car changes. So Apex Motorsports have used a free upgrade. They used the 991 in round 1, same as Ovo, and they've upgraded to the 992. So GT Finland used the Dodge Viper for round 1, managed to come P6, and still using it for round 2 at Bathurst. Not the strongest car here, but nonetheless still using the Dodge, and the number 66 finding itself in a comfortable P9 after qualifying P8. So a very strong race so far. They've got 3.7 seconds to the Blazers car ahead, the number 7, who were in the Dodge Viper and have used their 3 car chains to change to that Nissan GTR that we can see the lovely livery in there. Nice. Our reigning champions are down in P10 tonight, and that's Esports Race Asylum. They were in the Dodge Viper for round 1 and managed to secure a podium in P3, but in the Porsche 992, not quite having the race that they would have wanted us there. They are letting P5, the ERS car, past. So, Esports Race Asylum just about missing out on qualifying P9, down in P10. They're in quite a comfortable position there. P11 is Goncazo, race representing Portugal All-Stars in the RX Vision. Kind of sounds like a hairdryer, but it's a bloody fast one, and it's such a good car around Bathurst. It feels so fun to drive, as you can see them pushing the absolute limits out of that car. Now, I don't know what happened to Inferno Motorsports in 12th. They did end up using their free car change from the Viper to the M6. Tonkanon representing them, ZFS's own, my Team Brown, Team Throwdown captain, absolute legend. This guy here, always able to help, get his head down if you need help. Like, I mean, he's quite busy this weekend with IRO and everything, but I've got a spa race on Monday, and I'm sure if I asked him to help me out, he'd give me some pointers. I'm sure Captain Mill's in here also. It was a penalty for an unsafe rejoin during qualifying in Daytona, which caused them. Alright, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Very cool. So Inferno down in 12th. They did secure P2 for last round and qualified in P4. Tonkanon qualifying for them as well. But down in P12, so I don't know if anything happened in the earlier stages of this race. If chat could enlighten me, I would be very happy with that. And then 13th so far is QRT in the Audi. They came 14th last round and qualified. QRT, brain cell actor. They actually managed to make the top 7 in qualifying, coming P6. We're supposed to have 14 cars on track and 2 Vipers. Also our current championship leaders. Who are they? Can you guess? Well, it's FGR. Where have they gone? They just decided, again like ALN, saw that I was on comms and just decided to not put a car in. So that's an instant stint DSQ just because Kruentis is completely useless. Yeah, qualified P6. What kind of hair dryer do you use if you sound like that? Well, when you're a uni student, you use stuff that should have been thrown away about 3 years ago, just because, like, yeah. We've always called the RX Vision a hairdryer's car at ZFS. I don't know if it's because it sounds like one, or if it's just because Gareth uses it and we like taking the mick out of Gareth. So, as always, chat, if we have any particular drivers that we want to have a bit of extra screen time, I will take requests. But I think we keep our eyes on, what was that battle? This one here, between Sector 7 Blazers and GT Finland. Cody versus Matu79, 2 incredibly strong drivers. Viper versus GTR, I believe that is, yes. As we look at the wonderful, clear, sunny skies through the mountain straight. So, a bit of extra information about the race. It's a 12-hour event with 6 stints, and as you've seen, the stint swaps on the driver's end were absolutely flawless. One driver comes into the pits at the end of one stint, as the other driver comes out of the pits, or well, starts taking tyres and fuel at the start of the second stint. We've got 59 laps of this stint, but that does include the one formation lap and one out lap, which we're going to come into the pits at the end of lap 58. So it's 57 green flag racing laps for everyone, as I just see ALN, the number 999, coming into the pits to get rid of those soft compound tyres. For the entire 12 hours, the teams have 9 sets of softs that they can use, 4 mediums and 6 hards, so you can't just keep on blitzing the softs. And as we see right there, ALM not wanting to get rid of those softs, as they're wanting to use the absolute maximum out of them. So coming in just to get a bit of fuel, and that's allowed AMS to get up into P2 momentarily, but can ALL Almada get past, and Calster's right behind them as well. So Almada's slotted right between Defson and Calster. Defson absolutely flying out here, 201.2 for the Canadians, showing Apex Motorsports how it's done. We got 4 seconds behind Almada and Calster, 1.6 behind with a lot better tyre wear. Wait, let me check. I can't remember what graphics Jaeger shows and what he does. You guys don't get tyre wear or fuel. I get absolutely everything. Am I allowed to comment on tyre wear, or are we keeping that in the dark? I can't remember what you guys decide is allowed to be shared and what's not allowed to be shared. Like, I like to show absolutely everything because there's bloody World Series drivers on track and you can learn absolutely loads. Like, I mean, my job's just to waffle for 2 hours straight while I sit here and watch exactly what the inputs do for the top drivers in the world. One of my favourite tracks, Bathurst, I always love it when it comes up. Interestingly, just spotted lap 7, lap 6. Calster setting the exact same lap in a row. What tyre is P11 on? P11 is Portugal All-Stars. They're on the mediums, slightly warm. Tonkin on for Inferno Motorsports, also on the mediums. He's got 42 seconds to go to Goncazo, and the times are looking relatively similar. Tonk's fastest time is a lot better. The average is looking pretty similar, so it's 42 seconds. Probably not going to see Tonk getting up into P11 anytime soon, but might be able to bring that down if like a crash happens or something, depending what happens. I've also noticed Shadow asking what kind of hairdryer is that. No, that's Shadow 977. That's another Shadow on track. That's the Finnish Shadow that's asking that. And this is the Polish Shadow. Alright, okay, let's keep our eyes on this. Calster 2 seconds back to Almada, who has a 4.5 second gap to catch to Defson. Also, Jaden, what the hell happened? If you ask the commentator, they may give you the information. Yeah, you can talk about how the tyres are. Yeah. Oh, the first one, yeah. I was going to say, are you typing in chat and also racing at the same time, but then I realised completely different bloke. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, it's not the end of the world, but no. If I'm not asked about it, don't tell it. But, like, if Jaden wants to know exactly what's happening to everyone around him, Jaden can know that. Because Jaden's special, and special people get special treatment from special commentators from special town. Right, okay, enough waffling. Let's have a cheeky butchers. So, France, after that little mistake at the Dipper, that's the name of the corner that I keep on forgetting, and lost around, I'd say, like 20 odd seconds from the crash and coming into the pits, maybe a bit more, probably closer to around 30, because he was right on the back end of Nico. Now 33 seconds. Does anyone know if any of the teams have used up like one of their compounds? Like, has anyone not got any softs, mediums or hards left? Because it seems to be like mainly softs and mediums around the board. I'm not seeing many hards on people's tyres. Too many pricks copying my name. Well, you have got like one of the most like simplest adjectives that you could have gone with, like Shadow. What's next? You're gonna call like yourself Apex or something. Speaking of which, Apex Motorsports absolutely flying. New fastest lap of the stint, 2:01.2 from Defson. It was on soft tyres. Yeah, vague info on fuel, but I can't say, yes, he's got like 20% of his tyre left or anything like that. Got it. Yeah, I could say like, depending on like wear and stuff. Cool. Probably gonna let that slip, but hard should be the last resort. Yeah, because I mean you've got them available. You got, I believe, was it 4? No, you got 6 hards and 4 mediums you can use, and 9 softs. So 1x, softs and mediums should be able to last the whole 12 hours. Thank you, Jaeger. Very cool. At least someone's not completely bloody clueless. But, I mean, you don't really tune into a Kruentis stream to, like, learn info about a race. I'll keep the eyes on Almada. I mean, Death Sun is definitely pulling, but we can see both the gaps there after coming in for damage. Gregoire as well towards the start of the stint, coming in for damage, but he still has an entire lap on the field do over. Just goes to show how strong that All-Stars lineup is. Antonio Santos, Gregoire, some other blokes, that's all I've seen so far drive that car. Yeah, I couldn't remember if on the graphics you had a little thing on the side like Pirate used to do for tyres and fuel. Like, you know, I show absolutely bloody everything. Like, to extremes, but I completely get it. Like, teams don't want all that stuff broadcast. I mean, I can go full screen so we can see, like, what gears and stuff they're using. As we'll see, how is Gregoire going to... Ooh! And that's a tap on the wall for the race leader, Gregoire. Bit of a commentator's curse acting there. Let's go on the instant replay and have a look at that. So that was coming into the S's all over the place. Is Gregoire lagging like this for everyone else, or is this just a commentator thing? Is they're just a bit too late on the brakes, locking the rears and going into the barrier? Very unlucky for the Frenchman. Is that Death Sun behind? No, Death Sun. There's a car between Gregoire and Death Sun, is there? No, that is Death Sun behind. So technically we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 all on track, separated by about like 5 seconds. Well, not that. No, like 10 seconds we'll say. Only problem is P1 is a full lap ahead because he's a literal alien. Well, not this guy. He's complete alien. Right, so we got alien, 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 and alien. Welcome to IRO, one of the most incredible series I've ever seen in my life. That's why I always want to do comms for them, even if I can't physically make it. Right, what is QRT going to do in that Audi? Doesn't look like Gregoire's moving around too much now. Look at this absolute camera control. The helicopter cam skills are just unmatched on the Kruentis channel. Right, I have got a massive 2 litre of water next to me because I've learned that if you don't drink water, commentary is very hard. Especially if you've not got a co-commentator in, because this is the first solo one I've done in about 8 months, because ZFS seems to really like helping me out on commentary no matter what league I'm doing. There's, oh, Gregoire all over the shop there! How on earth he saved that is beyond me. But that 992 shouldn't be moving how it is. Going to show the caliper of drivers that can move that. Here, let's go. All Stars indeed. Says I'm not going to be able to say that name. Beirao in chat. Yeah, a nice sip of water. Very good, very nice indeed. So yeah, a bit more information about the race. It's 12 hours, 6 stints, so that's 6 2-hour stints. Teams can have, I believe it's between 3 and 6 drivers that can do this event. The weather is Oh, damn, I got that bang on. Hell yeah. The weather is completely random for all stints, but Bathurst is not a track that we can get rain, so it's not going to start having the heavens open up. We're not going to see how these drivers can tackle the downhill S's section in the rain, although that would be incredibly entertaining to watch. Not for them crashing, because they just absolutely nail it every time, because, like, Alien doesn't do the... We need another term, like, above Alien. Right, come on, fire that Kruentism up. Fire that autism, the Kruentism. Get it all working. We need something higher than Alien. Like, world class is just boring. GTWS driver only really classifies. I believe Gregoire is the only... Actually, wait, I've got a list of potential current or former World Series drivers that entered round 1, and I'm going to see if we can spot any names. Let's get this up. Right, yes, so Andrew Brooks in P2, AMS Deathsun, is either a potential current or former World Series driver. I believe he's in the potential list, and looking at that pace, I can see exactly why Brooks absolutely flying there. Celestians, I like that, Jaeger. I like that. Intergalactic Celestians. That looks very good, yeah. Cody, yeah, Cody Lepvoksky, P8, probably butchered that last name, but he's not listening. Oh, he'll be listening in a bit. But yep, another potential World Series driver, very strong. Seen him on the leaderboards. As there is Deathsun into the pits to take on a bit more fuel. He might take another set of softs, but I don't think he will. I think he can get a little bit more out of them. We might see ALN in pretty soon. I believe that's all we've got so far for, yeah, and Calster as well is a potential World Series driver. So that's, yeah, we'll say three potential World Series drivers on track tonight. I would say 4. He's not on the list, but Tonkanon, like, I'm not biased, but he's goated doesn't do him justice. He's on the mediums, so the times don't look like what you'd expect, but he did qualify P4 pretty bloody comfortably, and he wasn't happy with the lap either. I was like in our team throwdown chat afterwards. I'm like, mate, what an absolute lap. You had me screaming like a little kid at a festival. And he was just focusing on like a little tap in the wall on sector 2 that I didn't even clock. Keep them battles brewing, racers, says GT45. Nice to see you're all right, mate. I saw what happened in the streamers chat. If you need anything from us, like, let us know. We'll help out. Like, we need to make sure you're all right. But glad to see it. Looks like you got out all right and all your stuff as well. Goes to show how strong the Canadian firefighter service is. So, does anyone know what happened to INF? Because they were 4th, and they're an incredibly strong team, and they're now 12th. And it seemed like when I checked in at like 1ish, when I was out, just got to the kart track, and I pulled my phone out, they were already back here. Did they have a DC or anything? Who did we lose? Yes, we lost FGR. Didn't manage to get into the stint in time. I don't believe they had a driver lined up, or they just saw that I was on comms and were like, "Yeah, sod that Kruentis guy. He can suck it. He doesn't get to see FGR. We're too good enough for him." Had a rough stint. All right, fair enough. Easy to do at this caliber of driving, especially in the earlier stints, can drop back, and it can be so hard to get them positions back. for INF, but that gap is coming down to Goncazo. They're on the same tyres are Inferno and Portugal All-Stars, the number 4 and the number 27. Yeah, still 4 points, enough to decide the championship. Is that what the penalty is for missing a stint? Is it a 4 point? I was going to ask that because I didn't know. Is it going to be a time penalty? I didn't clock where FGR were. I know they qualified P12, not quite. Getting on with the Viper was the driver that did qualify for them. I've got it. It was Tim Graham that did it. P14 is 4 points. Yes, that makes sense. So yeah, they will most likely get last. I think they were running last as well. Flores. No worries, mate. You're still miles faster than I could ever dream of being. But yeah, I think that's what would happen if I ever, like, ZFS entered a team into Split 2 or anything. What happened? I happened. That's probably going to happen for Spark. Right, what on earth is going off at Devil's Elbow? Sorry if I'm just going to, like, flashbang you guys. There's cars close to each other. It's GT Finland and Sector 7 Blazers getting close to each other. 1.4 seconds separates Matthew and Cody. The Viper and the GTR will keep our eyes on this for a while, as it's definitely the closest battle on track that we've got so far. And it's a battle for position as well, P8. You think, well, I'm called a dodgy fire stick in this community because of how clueless and, like, behind on what's happening is going on. So don't worry, you know a lot more than I do, Stig. You've done wicked on comms. I've tuned in for like 10 minutes or so on most of the stints, and what I caught was very impressive from you, mate. So that gap under to just under a second as the Viper hacks starting to show on the mountain straight as we come up through Quarry, through into the cutting. Nice and smooth, getting as close as possible to the walls. 7/10 that gap through Griffin's Mount and Ride Park. So we wait, looking for the tree as the turning marker for Sulman Park, up to McPhillamy. Onto the run up to Skyline now. You can tell I've got the track map up because I can actually know the bloody corner names now. As we go through Skyline onto the run to the S's sharp downhill braking zone. And you can just see how much stronger that GTR is in the corners. 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds. Cody gaining over a second through the mountain as we go through Forest Elbow now onto the Conrad Straight. And it's a little bit of a moment for Matu, and that's going to cost him. Sorry. And it looks like Cody may have had a similar moment, or is that just the straight line speed of the Viper? He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. And he's coming down and down and down. Look at that straight line speed. As we go towards... what's it called? The chase this bit, yeah. My track map's a bit different because it's not got the chase, it's just Conrad straight to Murray's corner here through the final one. Gregoire into the pits, onto mediums, and he's put quite a bit of fuel in. Same with ALN and ERS. ALN coming out on the mediums with pretty much a full tank. Nixo for ERS in as well. So with Defsun pitting on, looks like he came in the pit. No, that's a glitch because like he would not. Yeah, there we go. Again, no, it's got 4. It's saying he got a 2:01.219 on an in-lap. Like, come on, Polyphony. So, yeah, he came in on lap 20 for a fresh set of softs. did Apex Motorsports, and look at the speed Defson is able to carry through them corners. Beautiful, beautiful livery. As always, if anyone knows who designed any of the liveries, let me know. All I know so far is it was JP who did Esports Race Asylum's livery, this beautiful black, white and gold livery on the Porsche of Shadow 130 in this stint. And it was INF Tiger, Rick Zunches, another ZFS, well, former ZFS driver. Now he's kind of buggered off to INF. Tonk still plays around a bit for now until he decides that I'm a bit annoying and he's going to bugger off as well, probably. Tiger doing this one, very strong. P1, P2 and P. I caught that, Jaden. What you on about? AMS Conrad made the Apex Motorsports livery. Well, he did an absolutely fantastic job on that. Jaeger, I'm gonna annoy you a bit. I'm gonna use your favourite camera, chase cam, for a bit, just so I can get a proper good look at that Apex Motorsports livery. Blue and white. I love the pattern on the side there, like almost shattered glass-esque. Wicked job Conrad did on that. Right, that's enough of chase cam for now, though. If I use it a bit more, I think Jaeger might get a bit angry. Right, okay, who are we looking at? Matsu and Cody, and they're right on each other's tail. It looks like Matsu got past. Now, are we going to be able to catch that, or am I a bit clueless and I missed it? No. Let's see this. And it looks like, were they getting blue flagged? Or no, it just looks like a DRS overtake, pretty much. Straight line speed of the Viper. About go to sleep, Kruentis Pezza. It's bloody 7 PM. I actually had a decent night's sleep. I went to bed at 5 AM and I got up at 10:30. And that's healthy for me because I actually went to bed. And you know me, like, paralytic. If I start not speaking English, it's either because I've not slept in 2 days, I've not drank water in that day, or both when I did that CLR CTC stream. Also, what were you doing in the ZFS chat? I was trying to find like Jaeger to ask about the what's it called, and you were not only were you on there, not only were you in our party chat, you weren't even on your main. You were on the IRO chat that you've got linked to your Discord purely so people add the wrong bloody Pezza account when they're trying to find the IRO stint. What was that all about? I'm assuming it's Spa 12-hour shenanigans, or were you trying to preach another league to us? Yes, that's right, if anyone didn't hear that. It's not just IRO that do 12-hour events. It's ZFS as well, and we're going to try and replicate this as much as possible. I'm going to try and do the VOD Ninja stuff and get a full stream on my account. That will be on the ZFS Kruentis channel on April 19th. It will run from 10 AM to 10 PM, and hopefully I can do it like this, where it's 2 6-hour streams. Probably going to F it up because it's me and I'm bloody clueless, but I'll give it a damn good go. So 1.2 seconds now, the gap between Matsu and Cody. Who's that coming up to lappers? I believe this is a wicked time to get Jaeger cam on. I believe that is P4 ALN Almada. Yes, it is indeed the number 999. Wait, did I get? Oh my god, that's a sweet on the back. Pretty simple livery on the ALM car, but it does the job. It's showing the intergalactic pace that team offers. Preparing myself to beat you on the 19th of April. Well, I'm slow as hell. There's a reason why I'm sat on my arse doing commentary right now. So that's not really a challenge, mate. So good luck. I mean, I'm sure AHR are going to put an absolutely wicked race in. My team, we can't even decide on a name or a captain. We're probably going to call ourselves the Radion Rejects because we were just whatever anyone didn't want, they just throw us on there. Kieran didn't even want me to race for KW Customs. I've raced for him in every single ZFS race. Gregoire in, has he got more damage? Yes, he has. Are we going to catch it? Of course not. I am bloody clueless at this commentary thing, but that's the second time the leader has had damage. Gregoire bringing down the... Jaden, I bloody caught it. What you want about? Stop trying to be the eye in the chat when I'm still absolutely on it. There's a little bit of a tap of the wall for Devson there. Doesn't seem to have cost him too much. He's got a pretty comfortable P3 at the moment. Are you racing in Throwdown, Jaden? Because not this week, but week after, Captain Mills can't make it for Brand Team. So I know you're a little bit faster than a 700 rated ELO driver. But if we could get 2 Inferno drivers in one team, that would be absolutely wicked. And then we can also have 3 commentators in one team for Brown Team, because me's shicking you. Like, hit me up, bro. Hit me up. I'll sort you out. We're going to win it. Don't know who we're against, but we're going to win it anyway, because we're just that good. Tonk and hard carriers, you can get P1, as we are... There's the rest of the teams, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, but we still win because Tonk's just that good. Right, 9.2 seconds now between AMS and NWR. ALN, 31 seconds behind us there. He is right on the tail of Cody, getting past the Sector 7 Blazers car. Very nice. It's not quite like a traditional race. There's ALN Almada just kitting up a bit of grass during the chase. Not quite getting the line he would have wanted, but that has allowed, with that slowing down a bit, 2.9 seconds now the gap between Cody and Matu. And we did have, big moment for Almada there. Keeps it under control at turn 1. Well, that could have been a massive upset for ALN and may have brought P1R up to P4 if that happened. P1R very strong. P5 it was another one that I know did the livery. Shot Slammer did the P1R livery. I don't know what they're going for at the moment, usually being blue. I'm going for neon green this year. Now I'm not too sure, might piss them off a bit, but whenever I see this livery I just think of a highlighter. You can definitely spot it from a mile away. Doesn't mean it's a bad livery, it's bloody gorgeous. Neon green, it works so well on the Porsche. The highlighter wheel doing very well in P5. They're definitely going to come in soon, I believe, looking at the tyres. But that's all you're getting from me, because I'm going to be a very good boy and not give away everything. So, Elite Racing Squad ERS in the M6, changing to the mediums. A couple laps ago. So yeah, fresh tyres, that's dropped them down to P6, but we'll be back up to P5 when France pits. It's a minute and 5 back to my team, who we've got a battle for P7 brewing on our hands here. My team versus GT Finland versus Sector 7 Blazers. High vis unlocked indeed. Just waiting for, it was very easy to spot them at Daytona, even during the night stints. Even when I was having a mental breakdown when Jaeger just decided to go to sleep, and leave us all with VOD Ninja stuff, which we had no clue to do, because Jaeger is a bloody wizard, and he doesn't realise that he's a wizard, and he thinks everyone else can do his wizardry, but we can't because we're not Jaeger. Right, we'll keep the cameras panned to Matu for GT Finland because he's got everyone's gap. What's it called? How do I keep on forgetting Almada's name? Yeah, ALN Almada for the number 999 is slotted right in between Matu and Cody. So he's got Matu and Lucas to catch. So let me get my fingers panned out for the ultimate camera control. No, we messed it up. It's 7, 8, 7, 8, 4, 4, 9. I need to do it in track order. 7, 8, 4, 9. Look at that! It's better than F1 TV. No more sleep for Jaeger ever again. Absolutely, mate. You go to sleep. We will make sure that the stream absolutely crumbles to the ground without you here, because as I said, you're a wizard. There is Calster coming in, as I'm sure Jaden is going to put in chat. P3's in, even though I'm already bloody showing the cameras on it. Right, I was told to be less unhinged, and it's still a Kruentis stream, and I'm still very much unhinged. Alright, apologies, I'm trying to be nice. There is Lucas in as well for my team. Bit of damage as well, we didn't catch that. But looking at the times, it looks like he's been holding this for the majority of the stint. And that does make sense, because they did start in P7 in this stint, and it was around 30 seconds to Nico. It's now 1 minute and 9, so losing a lot of time were my team that stint. As they're filling out. They should come out in 11th. I believe Inferno are quite far away. Jaeger has to be awake for the rest of the time. Join me. I'm sure, as Pezza will tell you, I've got the worst sleep schedule on the planet. So if you can somehow teach me your wizardries. There's P1R. France, right, as Lucas comes out of the pit, slots in P11. He's got 26 seconds to our reigning champions esports race asylum. Not quite having the start of the season they wanted. They got P3 at Daytona in the Viper that they've changed to the 992 for today. And they're not quite having the race that they would have wanted. P10 in the race, and they qualified P9. So what is happening to our reigning champions? Are they slightly washed? No bad words about you, mate. Didn't say you had bad words about me. I said you know that my sleep schedule's absolutely like right. I need to look up some cinnamon. Swear words. Might be what's costing his lap times. Can't really see where. Looks to be good pace for the tyres in to get rid of them tyres, and he will take a fresh set. So that's one set of softs gone for GT Finland. Which tyres he goes on is going to be a mystery to you lot, because we're going to look at Gregoire. And Gregoire Gregoire's lead, it was 2 minutes and 20 at the start of the stint. It's already down to 1 minute and 17. You might be thinking, what the hell is he doing? What's happened there? But I will tell you, the strat saying much. I believe that for each tyre set, Gregoire only wants to pit once, but Deathsun wants to keep the car lighter and pit twice. So that's what's happening here. They've just taken longer in the pits. But that's all you're getting from me. Calster right on the tail of ALN. What the hell happened here? Both of them out of the pits. And we've got a battle for P3 brewing. Can NWR get back onto the podium spots and demote ALN down into P4? Woohoo, good day for racing, boys. Absolutely, Speedo, it's nice to see you in chat. How you doing, mate? Saw you were the only one that reacted to my epic karting moment earlier on. The Sutton Circuit, reason why I couldn't do Stint 3, or help Jaeger with the director stuff, which was the whole reason why I was doing this, so I could realise like exactly how we're going to do it for our Spa 12-hour event later on. Yeah, I was doing Sutton in reverse, so I've done it the right way around a couple times, and for the turn, what is usually turn 4 and 5, is very easily flat, but in reverse you're going a bit quicker. So I immediately spun on lap 1 of qualifying, and I shot mud into the air so much that my blue kart was brown and my tracksuit bottoms, because they don't give you race suits there, it's purely like you're just in your civvies, you get a helmet so you don't bloody die, and that's about it. I had mud literally everywhere, and I still came P7 in the society, which I was chuffed to bits with, because like them guys do BUKC, I don't, so immediately their wallets are heavier than mine, so they're faster. But that's how you do motorsport. That's what I like about sim racing. Right, enough waffling about nothing related to the race. What am I doing? I need that button. Jaeger cam. Or well, more, we're just going to see this massive rear wing on the Alien Motorsports, what's it called? The Alien Motorsports AMG. Maybe if I do it like this, that's a bit better. No, still can't really see. Which version of Jaegercam do we prefer, boys and girls? As there is Calster, he's going to have a look around the outside of the chase. Is he going to get it stuck? No, he's not. There's a little bit of contact between Almada and Calster. And Calster just has to back out of that one. And now we're going to have a look at that one from Calster's POV. And there he is, he's going to have a look up the inside, late on the brakes. Just the tiniest bit of contact from the ALN driver caused them to drop back down to P4 for the potential, well, perhaps even, I don't think he's current because he's not S-rated, but definitely World Series pace is Calster. And that's alright, I need to plug my headset in. Because usually, having a mic to do comms with battery in it is kind of needed. We're already over halfway through this stint. What the hell happened? Oh, Cody DNFs! That's the Blazers number 7 having a disconnect from the lobby. So that's both FGR and Sector 7 Blazers not being able to finish stints 5. What is going off here? They're not even the ones lagging the most. That's Gregoire here, the leader. So massive news for the car, which was in the battle in the mix for P8. That's a wonderful move for INF, Portugal All-Stars and QRT, as they're all going to gain spaces from that, as it's going to be FGR in 14th and the Sector 7 Blazers car in 13th for the start of stint 6, if they both make it. Can we see the gap between 6th and 7th, please? Yes, mate. Shadow is 1 minute and 1 second off of P1R France. Now, this would be where I would make a 6-7 joke if I was more of a deranged autistic teenager, but the Kruentis isn't that strong, so you're not getting that. Who's disconnected? That was Cody, Sector 7 DC'd, yep. You guys are still perfectly fine in P8. My team doing perfect, as there is Shadow coming into the pits, which will allow my team and GT Finland to get promoted back up to P8. Tonk, you absolute demon, what have you done? What have you done? How have you done this, bro? Right, okay, it was... Right, these Portugal All-Stars have pitted, but Tonk's right on the rear end of GT Finland, who have also pitted. Right, okay, never mind. It's a pit stop behind, but brilliant news for Inferno Motorsports. The car up to P9 now momentarily. I'm sure Jaden is absolutely over the moon in chat. I'm sure he will confirm that in a minute. Or maybe he's bugged off because I've been talking about that guy for the past 5 minutes. Made so many jokes about him, and he's just... I think it's because I was whenever anyone would come in the pits, he'd say it as I'd already spotted it, and I was kind of taking the mick out of that. I think I made him leave. I think I made Jaden just rage quit. That's the skill. Right, Calster has got back ahead of ALN Almada. Did we catch that? No, we did not, because we're completely useless. Don't know where they found this commentator from. He's occasionally funny, but actually keeping up with the race is completely useless at that. Yeah, get Jaeger back in. He was wicked. He's funny. He's good at comms, and he can actually keep up the race. Not this Kruentis guy. He's a bit bloody useless. But NWR back onto the podium. The number 224 doing very well. AMS, what the hell happened? 900 million light years ahead. Right on the rear end of QRT. But this stint from P4 to P2, Defson. Granted, the fuel definitely AMS using a much different strategy for each soft run. It looks like they're doing 2 stints, so the amount of fuel that they need, they're doing that twice. It takes an extra pit stop, but being lighter, having more confidence in the cars. Can't go for a move there, mate. I mean, you're under blue flags. That was balls to the wall there from Defson. Right, let's have a look at that. We'll go first wave. So through the dipper, he's got the move. Ooh, a little bit of a bump. He's got past. But alright, get Stuart Kruentis in here from QRT's position. So under blue flags, Defson's got the run. Now QRT should back off here, but they don't, and go on to Apex's line. I'd say that's MT Snipe's position. He should have seen he was under blue flags and lifted earlier on, but that was a weird spot for Defson to try and go past. No damage or anything from it, bit of a racing incident. There is Tonkanon, who's pit down to P12. And there they are down in the M6. They've got 11 seconds to QRT. You still have to pit. Tonk might be able to take that to the end of the race. Should be able to on the fuel. And should be able to on the tyres as well. So yeah, I believe it's mainly a 1/2 stop. No, each stint's probably looking at the tyres allocated. Each stint's a bloody 1 stop. You could do more, mainly for damage and fuel. Or well, depending on what you want to do with the fuel. But the tyres should be a 1 stop for each stint. And that makes sense with the allocated tyres. How have I already drank a litre of water and I've still got dry mouth because I've just been waffling for an hour and 20 minutes. Is it entertaining though, chat? Are you enjoying this? Do I sound like a complete muppet? Let me know. Brutal honesty is best feedback. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Right, okay. So, just over halfway through the stint, going through, most major pit stops have been done. Yeah, Death Sun's probably the only one mainly which has come in. Snipes as well. Okay, it's my end fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, mine's fine, yeah. Yeah. It's back, okay. Whew. Right, okay. The turd in my pants is massive because this would not have been the first aero stream that I broke. I had to check mine and it was fine. Have I muted both broadcasts? Yes, I have. Okay. What a save. Okay. Right. Back to the rundown. I'm pretty sure it crashed on Calster. Just Calster's that fast that he crashed the bloody stream. ALN, number 999, the, what's it called? The Mercedes up in P4, very strong result as there they are getting past QRT, obeying the blue flags very nicely. Or you almost had Kruentis back on you. But thank you comms. Yeah, thank you com. Why am I thanking myself? Thank you chat for catching that very fast and yeah, resolving that. Like it was fine on my end, so that's I'm not having credit for that. That was Jaeger's wizardry again. It was Jaeger that mucked it up, but it was Jaeger that solved it. Okay, I thought that was student Wi-Fi. Like maybe my flatmates are just streaming like 27, 4K, 8K, ultra, the high Q, LGBT, all that nonsense, like all major videos. And using up all my bandwidth, but no, I'm fine. Okay, cool. P5, 54 seconds back from ALN are the Elite Racing Squad, the number 73 BMW. Incredible performance so far from these guys. They've got 28.4 seconds back to Project One Racing, P1R. Got France in the car at the moment. And it's 1 minute and 17 to my team, Lucas 25, driving for them at the moment. GT Finland are 5 seconds back. The only one of two teams keeping the Viper from round one. The other one just hasn't turned up because sod it, FGR, they don't like me enough. They came last in quali out of everyone that turned up. Yeah. So P8 for GT Finland, 9 seconds back are Portugal All Stars. P9 being driven by Goncazo of the only RX Vision on the grid. 14.6 seconds are our reigning champions, Esports Race Asylum in the 992. Oh my god, listen to that engine. I absolutely love how the 999... Alright, okay. Water, Kruentis is going paralytic, he's forgot his own language again. This isn't the first time this has happened. You'd think, being English and being a bit clueless and only being able to speak one language, I'd actually know how to do it pretty well. Turns out, no, not in the slightest. 202.34 Shadow, strong lap, mate. There he is. There's the pit stop I was on about. Death Sun coming in. No, I'm done, guys. Glad it's sorted. Wicked. As I did say, the turn in my pants was very large. We're approaching 7:30, so that will be when the final stint lobby will be opening up. So all the drivers will be getting ready to complete the final stint. The formation of that lap will happen around like 7:50 odds, and then you get to listen to the lovely voice of, let me check, is it GT45 or is it Jaeger that you're gonna hear? Broadcast schedule, it's GT45 that you're gonna have. Identified some bottlenecks, there we go, yeah. Yes, so it's GT45 that you're going to have for the final stint. The crazy Canadian, absolutely legendary commentator in my eyes. 35 watching now, Jesus. Thank you so much for the support, boys and girls. Always appreciate doing comms for IRO. And that's not just because it boosts me ego a bit, because everyone actually bloody joins the stream. Right, let's minimize Discord a bit. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Where's my chat gone? There we go. So yeah, refueling speed is 3 liters per second. Forgot to say that. I'm hot. I'm getting the ADHD's kicking in. I was doing a run down the grid and I've completely got sidetracked. All right, GT Finland 5 seconds behind my team. Goncazo for Portugal All Stars, 9th, 8 seconds behind GT Finland. Shadow in 10th for Esports Race Asylum. Tonkanon in 11th, 24 seconds back for Inferno Motorsports. MT Snipes in 12th for QRT, rounding out the drivers on the grid at the moment. Then in P13 is going to be the Sector 7 Blazers after their disconnect from this lobby from Cody. And then P14 is going to be the drivers leading the championship at the moment, the Feel Good Racing FGR 303 in P14 after not even making the stint. So with Death Sun going into the pits, that has promoted Gregoire's lead back up to a comfortable 1 minute and 49 seconds for Ovo. So not quite the 2 minutes and 26 that they had, but Gregoire has had 2 mishaps. One on around like lap 5ish, where he came in and pitted for damage, and another around lap 35. So that will have cost the Ovo Esports Porsche quite a bit. That will explain where the 30 seconds have came from, because on pace, they've been absolutely identical to everyone. Driver of the stint by far has been AMS Death Sun in my eyes, Andrew Brooks, flying, taking the lap by storm, and he's promoted Apex Motorsports from P4 to P2. Now, definitely not going to be able to challenge for the win, provided that whoever drives for Ovo isn't a complete and utter... No Kruentis, keep it family friendly, yeah, provided nothing happens to Ovo, there we go, that's what can happen. Nothing, Ovo should win this. Right, I need to stop being unhinged, really, I need to keep this family friendly. I'm managing to censor myself halfway through, but the message is still getting across, and, like, that's not what we want. Like, this is genuinely me trying. I promise, guys, I'm genuinely, like, trying. I'm just a very unhinged person. Like, anyone that's been in any ZFS party chat with me will know that, like, I'm not normal. Right. Who do we watch? Who do we watch? Who haven't we seen much of? I know. We'll just keep it on Tonk. One of the fastest drivers I've personally raced with. Well, I say raced with, got slaughtered by. Well, been in the same race as, we'll say. Because you don't race Tonk at ZFS. You get slaughtered by Tonk at ZFS. Yeah, beautiful livery. We'll get a good look at that. The Inferno Motorsports, designed by INF Tiger, on the side. I remember voting on this one, and a more heavy on the black livery on Instagram. It was seeing which one did he like more, and I voted for this one, and it won. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, very good livery on that. We've got the driver names on the side. Looking very nice indeed. Right, okay, chat's kind of died down a bit, so I can't really ask for any specific cars. So I'm just going to guess and say that you want to look at my team. Again, another incredible livery. Don't know who did this. I'm gonna say, well, no, I'm not, because I don't know many of my team drivers. Yeah, my team been going for since the beginning of time, it seems. Whose team are you on? I'm on my team. Whose team? My team. Very well. Qualified P7, still in P7. Seem to constantly be in action though, because Matu Goncazo now as well, coming out of nowhere for Portugal All-Stars, and Cody earlier on before they disconnected for Sector 7, putting an absolute storm in. Let's go through. Right. So what lap is the leader on? Lap 44. So coming in the pits at the end of lap 58. We are looking at around 15 odd more laps of racing action. So just over 30 more minutes of Kruentis, prime Kruentis commentary, as you see me fail miserably to try and not be unhinged. We've got the return of the timer to this round, going very well. Where we gone? 20, yeah. Get that up, yeah. Going down the Conrad straight now. It's a 1:33.5 through the sector time for Gregoire. His best time was on softs, he's now on medium, so that's kind of reflected there in the stint, in the sector times. Through the chase, very clean, hard on the brakes through Murray's, clips the apex, hard on the throttle, and across the line it's going to be another 2:02. But look at how consistent them laps are. Same with everyone. Deathson, absolute legend, best driver of the stint, I think. We've got a battle for P2 technically on the hands for the next stint, or this stint, depending on what happens. Deathson, AMS, NWR, and ALM, all in contention to take that penultimate spot on the podium. Looks as Jaeger is having bandwidth issues today, please excuse. Oh, yeah, well, no worries. Like, Jaeger does absolutely everything for us, and the stream's still the stream's still live, it's still all going very well. Sugar Shuffles, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day or night. We absolutely are. It's been a fantastic race. All 9.5 hours so far. And I'm sure we're gonna end it off with a beautiful 30 minutes of this stint. And then you've got 2 hours with GT45 to look forward to, and then the driver interviews as well. But yeah, for everything Jaeger does, to be able to have all this going, even with bandwidth issues, is something mental. Like, something out of this world, I'd say. Right, I'm playing with my TV stand. Which, I say TV stand, it's a cardboard box. It's a cardboard box that I had that I had around my room, which I initially had prodded against my pedals, but I just pushed them against the wall. And did all that. Cool, so blue flag for Almada, that will be for Gregoire, which is behind him. But doesn't really have to worry about much because they're lapping pretty much identical. See, this is the point where I'd kind of hope if I had a co-commentator. So I'm very much a merchant for on-track action. Oh, I know what we can do. We've not done the odometer check yet. Even though you guys can't see it, the reason why we tune into a Kruentis stream is for the absolute cinema, which is where he goes through all the cars and he checks for who's been putting the practice in, who's got the most miles. And it looks like everyone's bought a fresh car for this event. Because Gregoire has 452.7 miles on that Porsche 992. Deathson has 570.3 on his. Calster in the 296 has 1,582 miles on the clock. ALN Almada on the what's it called? The Mercedes has 3,037, our current leader, and pretty similar to what I have on the Merc. I think I've got 3,300. 3,203 for Nixo on the clock. France K88, 1,620 miles. My team Lucas 25 has 775 miles on the clock, not been putting in the practice, has he? Matu on that Viper, 1,504 miles. 1,489 miles on the clock for the Portugal All-Stars. RX Vision, oh God, Carzo's RX Vision. 660.9 for, no, I'm not going to wait a couple laps for that to say 667 because that's just deranged. 2,097 miles for Tonkanon, and MT Snipes 766. So the winner of the odometer check was, where's he gone? It was Nixo in the BMW M6 with 3,205, well, 3,206 miles now. This is the intimate information that we want. We don't want to know what happened, like, before, like, in the previous stints. Mainly because I don't know that, but I do know how many miles everyone's got. Like this is just like an insight to what being autistic is. It's the kind of, like, useless information that you get in. So, that was France kicking up a bit of grass there at turn 1. Someone has a half-second penalty. That's QRT, MT Snipes in P12, who's close to each other. That's still Gregoire coming up to lap the Alien Motorsports AMG in the form of Almada. You listen to the roaring sound of that German V8. Clip the apex of Hell's Corner, power out on the throttle as we go onto the mountain straight. Pushing and pushing and pushing. You can see that red headlights for... Yes, that is. That looks menacing on the Porsche. I'm sure they're not as effective as your normal LEDs, but they do work. As there's Almada coming through the cutting now onto Griffin's Mount and through Ryde and Sulman Park. As we head towards McPhilmay. Through the mountain, keeping it all the way to the wall through Skyline now. Sharp left-hand kink. Keeps it so strong as we're down into the braking of the S's. Hard. Aim for the walls, but don't touch them. As we go through the dipper now. Onto the run to Forest's Elbow. Gregoire still very much there in the background, hard on the throttle, get the best exit possible for the Conrad Straight as we head towards the chase. What are the split times looking like for Almada? Look at his last couple laps. 203.137, 203.067, 203.484, 202.8, 203.092, 203.1. So consistent. And these are faster than my bloody soft times. And that's still 2 seconds off what Polly's doing through Murray's now. Strong on the throttle. What's it going to be across the line? 202.956. Very strong lap indeed from Almada. Right, I need to drink even more water. This entire 2 litre is probably going to need refilling by the end of this stream. So 11 racing laps for these guys, 10 more racing laps for Gregoire. And it is only Gregoire, as Defson's only over here is not much further ahead of the grid than he is. There we go, starting to lose my words again. Just get a nice little listen to that 992 flying round here as it prepared to put that Apex Motorsports car in a very comfortable position for whichever teammate decides to take it for the final stint, hosted by I don't know hosted by, but it's definitely open, and this is around the time that formation lap would start. So I know GT45 is going to be in there. He's going to most likely have his stream up. Jaeger's probably having a nervous breakdown trying to do the last of the stint swaps with what little bandwidth that he has left. But he's done an absolutely phenomenal job for us, having a 10 straight hours, no major disruptions from what I've heard of. An absolutely phenomenal directing job from Jaeger as always. Apologies that I couldn't be there to help. I was going to help with the director side of it. I was looking forward to helping with the director side of it. But I was also looking forward to karting, and that kind of took priority. So, through the cutting now, onto the mountain, through Raiden Sulman's Park, once again, and it's just textbook, pushing to the absolute limit. Look at how close we're getting to the barriers. I'm sure the IRO race photos are absolutely mental with how close that they push it through the dipper now, keep it away from the grass, don't do what France did at the start of the stint and drop it there. Through Forest Selvo now onto the Conrad Straight. So strong on the throttle. It's like they're using a keyboard almost with how strongly slam the throttle on this game. It's very much not how you do it on most racing games where you try and bleed onto the throttle. Like, it is slightly faster if you go 90 to 100, but mainly, yeah, see there how fast they are. A little bit of a lift through the chase. I'm saying see there, like you're responding to the inputs, but you guys can't see them. For this reason, pretty much, like it's kind of like a privacy thing at this level. But like I love it because I can just sit back and watch and learn. Go Deafy indeed, says Conrad. Beautiful livery that you did on this, mate. I was told earlier on that it was you, AMS Conrad, that did it. And yes, Go Deaf Son indeed. Absolutely flying this stint. They've gone from P4 to P2. And it's a very comfortable P2 that they've put your car in. Thank you, sir. No worries, mate. I've always admired who can do beautiful liveries on this. Porsche's so good on the grip when applying throttle. I was just a muppet that day. Yeah, I'm annoyed that we used it on throwdown for round one, and I was very much not in a state to do round one. Like Milks was like very worried for my health with like how I was, but I still did the race. I didn't really. I parked it in the pits after 4 laps. Yeah, it's a beautiful car, the 992. Can we have a rundown of the order? Yes, mate. I've not done one of them for a while. So it's Ovo Motorsports leading the way in the 992. Very comfortable lead for the number 111. And they've got 1 minute and 30 seconds to, well, 1 minute and 37 seconds to Apex Motorsports. Let me get the spotters guide up. Where's it is? Because I'm blind as a bat. Yeah, 111 Ovo Esports. Like this is not 23. Yeah, I could have just looked at the side of the car. Yeah, number 23 is AMS. They are P2. 15.1 seconds behind is Calster for NWR. Then it's 8.6 seconds to ALN, 59.1 seconds to ERS, and P1R are 18.7 seconds behind that. Then 1 minute and 21 to my team, 8.4 seconds to Portugal All Stars, 10.6 seconds to GT Finland, It's Esports Race Asylum for 6.8 seconds back is P10. Shadow, answering your question, last lap time of P10 was a 2:03.0. Set their personal best on lap 45, 2:02.2. Average lap time for the last couple laps, I'd say very comfortable 2:02s on them soft, just starting to dip into the 2:03s now. And it's 18.3 seconds to Inferno Motorsports and 15.6 seconds to QRT. Sector 7 Blazers had a disconnect from this stint around lap 35 odd, so that will place them in P13. And P14 will be FGR, who did not manage to get into the stint in time, so we'll take a full stint DC, or full stint DQ I think it was, from this stint. So yeah, very good order. Looks like we've got a couple race design drivers in this, yeah. Looking, it was Jaden that asked that, I didn't check. So looking at Tonk's definitely catching on Shadow, if that's what you want. Goncazo's kind of pulled away up front for Portugal All-Stars, climbed his way from P11 to P8. Put an absolutely fantastic stint in that RX Vision. But them tyres are definitely, actually no, they're around similar wear to everyone. It's just Shadow's doing quite well. Yeah, 2:02.8 last lap for Shadow. As we go through, try and get as close as possible to the walls. Through Forest Elbow now, using maximum exit is the Polishman. Going through, he's coming up to lap someone, I believe that is QRT ahead of them. No, it's not. That's going to be someone further ahead. There's a car between Matu. Is that Gregoire? No, it's not. Who is that between? There it is. It was ERS, Elite Racing Squad, are between Matu and Shadow on track, P9 and P10, GT Finland and Esports Race Asylum. P1R damage, did you say? No, that's no damage on P1R. Just France maybe. I don't know. They did get damage. P1R did around lap. When was it? It was earlier on into the stint. I think it was around lap 20 through the dipper, just after the S's. France just caught a bit too much grass and got spun round. Ended up going into the barriers. Had to do an extra stop, which cost him around 20 seconds. And that was what allowed ERS to get up into P5. That's what cost P1R P6. No, cost them P5, dropped them down to P6. Gregoire for Ovo had two major shunts, having to do two extra stops. That's what's brought this gap down so much. And Deathsun just being a completely intergalactic alien. Look at that, 201s constantly on the board with no sign of stopping is Deathsun. Andrew Brooks putting in one of the most incredible Aero stints I think I've ever seen in my life. Gregoire as well, very strong. Lap 54 with a 1:34 lead, should be able to put that Ovo car into a very comfortable position to take P1, bar no mistakes in stint 6. I genuinely feel like I've got tonsillitis at the moment. I've been screaming that much. It's been an absolutely incredible stint, as always. Sorry about that. Nice to see I still know how to do it solo. Nearly said nice to see I know how to do it sober there. Like, I'm always sober for these streams. What am I on about? Right, none of my flatmates have messaged me telling me to shut up, which is good. And it looks like we're all getting ready for stint. Yep, stint 6 is live. Looks like GT45 is live as well. Getting everything sorted. 20.3 seconds now, the gap between Calster and Deathsun. Calster really struggling on them softs, maybe put in a bit too much fuel. Maybe not, because it looks like it will comfortably get to the end, but suffering with a lot more tyre wear than Deathsun, which explains the pace difference. Deathsun only now dropping into the 202s, which is what most of the drivers would be dreaming of doing around here. And their mediums. I though forgot I asked that. Yes, I am sober. I promise. Pinky promise. Because I pretty much got straight from a kart track into the com box. And if I can kart while drunk, that would be very impressive. I mean, I drive like I'm drunk anyway. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like I drank that much during Freshers Week, it's still getting out my system. Might be why I've been a paralytic on comms for so long. Yes, I've drank a very comfortable, like, 1.5 litres of water during this commentary stint. And my mouth is still dry. My throat is still sore. But that's just a sign that you've done very good on comms. Sure, GT45 will take it over for a very nice stint. Get all the drivers good. I'm going to absolutely demolish a Chinese after this. And I need to think of which restaurant to go to. Because there's about 3 near me, which are all incredible. But I'm trying to think which one's the best. Or more, which one's the most bang for my buck. Not quite which one's the best, because the best one is usually the most expensive. And I'm a broke student who decided to join the most expensive society on the planet. Right, so that's still Almada and Gregoire close to each other. Ovo and ALM under the blue flags, as there is ALN letting Ovo pass. Very nice, gives him a little flash of the headlights. That's how a blue flag should be done. Gap between 7 and 8 is 5.5 seconds. That's a lot closer than I thought it was. Lucas struggling on the tyres, very much using them softs to their absolute limits. This is going to be one to watch. Look at the lap times. 2:04.5 last time for Lucas. 2:03.1. 5.4 seconds. 1 second deficit a lap, pretty much. And they've got 5 laps to go until these guys have to come in the pits. 3 laps to go for the leader. 4 laps for most of the guys ahead. The very bottom has 6 laps to go. So it's about, 53, 56. So 3 laps that Gregoire has on QRT. 7 and 8. So 4.5 now. That gap coming down and down and down. And Goncazo will see that for Portugal All-Stars. He's going to try and get that RX Vision into P7, pushing hard and hard and hard. This is going to be a very good one to watch out, GT45, if you're listening to me. Battle for P7 brewing. And let's look at my team. What's going off here? We can see how much they're struggling through the Conrad Straight now, barreling through, pushing hard and hard. And yeah, 2.22 down on their best. Goncazo already gained a second this lap. Late on the brakes through the cutting, keeps it nice and smooth. Even with that, them struggling tyres, it doesn't even look like he's struggling to get the car turned in. Just goes to show the caliber of drivers on track tonight. 2:04.7. Goncazo sets a 2:03.5. Took a second out. Well, 1.2 seconds actually that lap. And on lap 53, took 1.4 seconds out of Lucas. So definitely the main place that Lucas is losing. We know the AMG isn't quite as strong on corners as the RX Vision through the mountain. Let's look at this. So 4.2, that was the gap through the Quarry Bend. I will see what it's like through Forest Elbow, because that's where that gap's going to keep on coming down and down here. So 3.7 now. Goncazo getting absolutely everything they can to try and put that Portugal All-Stars car into P7. 3.6 as we go through the S's. You can see Lucas struggling to get that AMG turn. 3.2 now, so already gained a second from where we were at Quarry. Coming down towards Forest Elbow now, clip the apex, strong on the throttle. 3.0 now, better exit. Does Goncazo get with that tyre advantage? And it's coming down and down. 3 seconds now, that gap between my team and Portugal All-Stars. Polish powerhouse mode prepared. 5.4 seconds between Matu and Shadow. That gap seems to be around the same, but took 7/10 out last lap. So battle for P9 and P7 brewing. 16.2 for Tonk to Shadow. But Goncazo and Defson are my drivers of the stint for this one. Just because of purely how far they've managed to rag them cars up. Defson just doing Defson things. So 2.6 now. Definitely we're going to keep our eyes on this battle